Welcome everybody to Tales from the Golden Bough. I'm tormented by gnomes. I will be your dungeon master this evening. I have an awesome cast of good friends with us today, so I'm going to hand things off to Bradley to introduce himself first.
What's up, everybody? I am Bradley, or Bradley. All my socials are Bradley_TV. Find me on Twitter and Instagram. I am a owl observer alongside Tormented by Gnomes here, and will be playing a Air Genasi Trickery Domain Cleric tonight.
Excellent. Passing over to Ninja Man Matt.
Hi there, my name is Matt, handle Ninja Man. I am a friend of Tonome's, long time, for a while now. We have been for a number of years co-working on the Anakra setting that many of these wonderful people that you know have been playing in, and I was allowed to come out of the dungeon and guest star for today. You can find me. I'm mostly just a content participator and D&D enthusiast, and I'm also a new dad, so that's fun. I've got a Twitter page, Ninja Man Matt, if you want to look at any of the silly things I post there. But for the most part, I'm just here for the ride.
Brilliant. Snowhaven.
Hey everybody, I'm Snowhaven. You can call me Snow. I work alongside Bradley and Joseph as an Overwatch observer. You can find me on Twitter at the handle beneath or on my YouTube page at TanukiCom, where I make a bunch of meme videos and stuff. Today I'm going to be playing a human gunslinger, but it's not quite a gunslinger, and we'll get more into that later.
Brilliant. Last but not least.
Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Dakota, aka Rapture. I'm an Overwatch and Super Smash Bros. Commentator, and I met these guys through Overwatch League Grand Finals, and a lot of online broadcast GG, broadcasts that we've done. And this is my first time playing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm really excited, and I'm playing a human battle chef cook ranger dude from the Tornland who's gonna serve you up some solid dishes.
Yes.
Brilliant.
We're eating
Brilliant.
good tonight.
Feast.
All right, so if you are new, if this is the first episode of Tales from the Golden Bough, you've never seen one before, this is a series of one-shot adventures where we get a group of folks from the tabletop and esports communities together. We play one adventure set in the world of Anakra, where most of our Casters and Castles adventures take place. We just have basically one quest, one night of fun, and then, that's the story. That's it. These adventures take place roughly at the same time as the other adventures on Casters and Castles. Specifically, these ones take place at the end of our last two campaign arcs, shortly after the great dragon Ashardalon was summoned into the world and has been wreaking havoc ever since. This particular adventure takes place in the land of Odasvale, which is caught between three warring kingdoms, all of which are vying for dominance. And this time, I have a map.
Woo!
Lord.
Maps.
So, this is Odasvale. The terrible dragon Ashardalon rules from Dotan's Rock, over here on your map.
That's not that far away.
Our specific adventure takes place in Bridlingtham, which is a barony in the south of Odasvale. And I will help everybody here find it, both with the ruler and by zooming you there. Boop, there we go. Bridlingtham is the southmost barony in Odasvale, and Odasvale is a wide, lush, green valley with many rivers flowing through it. It's got great farmland, and you can see little groups of sheep and stone fences as you go along it. And for a long time, it's not without its dangers. To the west lies Flindwood Forest, where monsters and unknown creatures lurk. To the right, or to the east, are the Sonril Mountains, which get snowy peaks and are rumored to have dragons clinging from every crag. And to the south, in the bottom right, are the Foamhor Woods, home to the Huldra, wood elves who forbid humans from entering their territory. And the great elven city of Nenri, a beautiful, luscious, magical paradise built upon a sparkling crystal lake. Unfortunately, it also has a sinister reputation, for mortals who enter the lands of Nenri are welcomed in with grace and are never seen again, and the rumor is that they fall under a spell and enter the city and never return. Now, this isn't the most updated version of the map, I just realized, because the updated version has a large lake there. The chat community they actually calculated the watershed of the entire valley and determined that the lake at the end should be way larger
Than just the one hexagon.
than just, yeah, each hex is 12. So I gotta find the right one, because the lake should really be like all over the place.
That's pretty cool.
But the good news is that doesn't impact today's adventure, because today's adventure takes place upstream about 70 or 60 miles in Bridlingtham, which is built right along the Heartflow River, as many of the great cities of Otisvale are. And at its height is a tower is a castle with a tower overlooking it. And from that tower, Baron Germund Geisslurg rules over these lands. Now, Otisvale has been thrown into a tumult because 7 years ago, the last king of Galadron, the mighty power that ruled over all the north, died without leaving an heir. And ever since, the conquered lands have risen up against each other, each vying for power or for their own freedom. And this land of Otisvale, this fertile valley, lies directly between three great warring kingdoms. And because of that, the lines of allegiance have blurred, and a time of great strife has come over the land, made only worse with the arrival of the terrible dragon. Rumors say that the dragon flies over the fields and forests of the kingdom of Vercinget, laying waste to everything in his path, and that no mortal weapon or spell can harm him. However, something prevents this dragon from entering Otisvale. The valley is safe and sanctified against him. Because of that, it has gathered the attention of the three warring kingdoms, each of which seeks the rich farmland and the allegiance of the people of Otisvale. Otisvale is ruled from its heart from the great city of Romar, where the Duke and Duchess try to decide what is best for their people. And every baron, including Baron Geisslurg of Bridlingtham, makes their own decision about where their loyalties lie. Some want to throw in their hat with the survivors of Galadron, far to the north. Others rebel against Galadron and seek their freedom. But Baron Germund Geisslurg doesn't seem particularly interested in any of this. All he cares about are the stories and tales of the magical elven city of Nenri that lies to the south. And before I get any further, chat, I need to turn on stream rewards. Again, if you're new, you can earn stream points by watching the channel, following the channel, and subscribing, and you can redeem those points to screw with the game. You can inflict disadvantage on people, you can grant them inspiration, you can make them find treasures and give them healing boosts. After I turn that all on, because that's the one thing I didn't put on my pre-show checklist. But while I work on that, our heroes, the four of you, have gathered in the legendary magical tavern, the Golden Bough, because of the troubles in Bridlingtham, and the troubles inflicted on it by Baron Germund Geisslurg. For as I said, the Baron cares little for politics, for the war in the north, for the right and the wrong of who should rule over these lands, or whether they should rule themselves. All he cares about is the majesty and magic and wonder of the elves. The rumors say that his halls of his castle are bedecked with elven tapestries, and that whenever possible he goes forth to seek out the latest in elven styles and fashion. He even collects statuettes carved in the elven style representing different figures from elven mythology, and he always tries to speak in the elvish tongue whenever possible, believing it to be more civilized and elegant than the common tongue. All of this by itself is... Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, just a sound effect.
All of this by itself is no more than an eccentricity. It's fine for a ruler to have hobbies. The problem is that the Baron is obsessed not only with the legendary city of Nenri, but with its queen, Delsrana, whose magical power and air of mystique spread rumors and tales throughout the land. He is obsessed, and he wants her attention, he wants her recognition, he wants this barony to emulate the greatness of Nenri, and he wants the secrets and knowledge and magic, and all of his efforts are spent in this goal, neglecting the needs of his people. In fact, Ever since Chardalon began to ravage the land, he has raised taxes, claiming that they're needed for defenses and soldiers. But under the auspices of the Golden Bough, you meet today with his wife, the Baroness, who has come here in secret. Gertrude Geisslurg sits across the table from you, cloaked to hide her identity. Now, the Golden Bough, where the four of you reside, its doors can open anywhere across the land, leading you to it. I will leave it up to each of you to decide how you know each other, whether you've met before, but suffice to say, you've all been brought on this job together. And my computer's installing updates, so give us a moment to turn on the channel lights. So,
Of course.
as you sit around the table and I wait for this crap to take care of itself, why don't you describe yourselves, starting as we will do for the rest of the night with Bradley.
All right. So, as I said, I'm playing a trickery domain cleric, Air Genasi. He's had a pretty easy life, and just he grew bored with how easy it was and how like loving his family was, and so he went looking for excitement, adventure, and discovered his deity gave him these peculiar talents to be able to cause discord and just kind of do pranks and silly things. Um, he is a relatively tall, slender frame. He's skin is kind of a dark gray with white arcing lines that kind of flash yellow every so often. They kind of swirl around, covering his face and body with what you can see. He's covered up in a lot of dark leathers. They're stained dark, a dark cloak, kind of covering up, trying to hide in, kind of blend in as much as he can. He's got a very pointed, firm jawline with high cheekbones. His eyebrows are stark white, and midnight blue eyes that sparkle like lightning flashes that give off an intensity, but he really is offset a lot of times by his mischievous grin constantly that besets his face all the time. He has no facial hair, and the sides and back of his head are shaved completely clean and with a brilliantly that same color of white hair, trimmed short but long enough to kind of flow freely, like kind of like cumulus clouds, the fluffy ones, kind of fluff up on top of his head. And he has a simple shield and mace. Probably he's helped these people without them knowing a few times here or there, just with his little tricks and trades that he's had in his tool belt. My name is Asura Whelm.
Excellent. So an Air Genasi mischief maker.
Yes.
Ninja Man Matt, why don't you describe your character?
Darius Ravengard is a rogue of many talents. Biggest talent is getting into trouble. He believes at one point he was a noble from a distant land. However, he can't quite recall. He's not suffering from amnesia. He just probably is slightly mad. He realizes that every time he wakes up, he has illusions of grandeur and thoughts of a far off place that he can never quite recall. The reason he adventures is that he is trying to reach out and try and get a greater sense of the world. And he does that by attempting to mingle with the higher class as Darius Ravengard in a strange noble from a far off land. But where he really finds his passion is by taking on the guise of Crevane the Fox, a daring do-gooder who is mostly a vigilante wherever he goes. As Darius, he tries to hobnob and socially find out in the area who really needs to be taught a lesson. And then by the dead of night, he changes his garb and patrols the town's streets and highways as Crevane in order to do good and assist those who really need it. And his travels.
I think you cut out there for a second, that dreaded bug that you'd mentioned.
Oh, is it cutting out now?
Yeah.
For a little bit there.
Oh, yeah, unfortunate. I'm having some internet connection apparently. Did any of that come through?
Yes, it did. It was his travels was where you got cut off.
Yeah, basically, acts like a snobby noble, tries to do good as a vigilante, and is very sneaky, stabby. And he actually, his subclass of rogue is that he's taken up the archetype of a master thrower. He specializes in throwing daggers, does a lot of tricks. He's very sneaky and stealthy with them, and he usually takes jobs as a bodyguard when he's not.
All right, lost you there after the word bodyguard.
Oh no, I'm push to talk, so I just talk.
All right then, we're good. Excellent. Moving on. Snowhaven, tell us about your character.
Cool. So my name is Ira Collins. I don't tell anyone my first name, except for a select few. Most people just call me Collins. My mother unfortunately died at birth, and my pops raised me all by himself on our family's farm. Life was really easy. I tilled the crops, fed the pigs, and every so often my dad would reward me with books. And these books were a very specific genre. They were all heroes' fables, fantasy or real life tellings or retellings of when adventurers would go off and thwart evil, slay dragons, rob the rich, and I became obsessed with it. My whole life, I thought I was made for something more, and the hero's calling sang out to me. Unfortunately, Pops died one day when some of the king's magic made these giant rats go rabid, and they raided our farm. And see, my dad was an inventor on top of a farmer, and he died with his last invention, which was an experimental crossbow. So this is where I am sort of a gunslinger, as my crossbow uses explosions to project the bolts faster, but the tech's not quite right, because I'm not an inventor, I'm a farmhand, I'm a wannabe adventurer. So we're gonna get into some adventures with that. But I'm a pretty loyal guy. I'm straight to the point. I help anyone, no matter the cost. And I'm not really in it for the reward. I just want to be known as a hero.
All right, excellent. Last but not least, the battle chef.
Oh, Joe,
All
I
right.
think you're
I
muted.
think you're muted, but I think you're talking to me, right?
All
of course
the layers
you were,
of mute.
because I am Hash Talon, the best knife and sword across the endless ocean. If you don't know my name, then you definitely do now, because I serve the best dishes across the entire 4 kingdoms. Now, I come from Tamarin, the Torn Land, and I was raised by a fallen knight of Terra Nimbus, but when he left my life, I took out to start my life anew and became the chef you see across your face here today. Now, the guild that I came from taught me to become a master chef, but I've also mastered the arts of combat to take down the most dangerous, rare, and life-threatening monsters that anyone has ever faced, which is why my dishes are the most exquisite. Mwah, so good. And that's why you have right before you someone who is all about opportunity. I don't care where your affiliation is, what side you're on. If there are clients to serve, beasts to slay, chops to cut, then Hash Brawn Talent is there. And I love to see some elves. Maybe their kingdom has some clients that haven't tasted the finest meat from the Tornland. And maybe some customers haven't seen the brawn of Hash Brawn Talent. So I'm ready for whatever is put before Hash, and maybe you'll taste the finest new recipe that I've cooked up for you.
Fan-freaking-tastic. I love it. I love it.
Oh, and I'm a battle cook ranger. I like to shoot stuff from afar because, gotta hit them once and done. Some of those things are really big, but big dishes, a lot of money.
They make good cooking. Excellent. Oh, what a motley crew. I love it. So,
Hash, what would you say your favorite dish you prepared is thus far?
Ooh, my favorite dish. Well, I certainly love dragon tips served over eggs Benedict with a nice, savory Miss Garden glaze. Truly, love it. Definitely
Makes
my
the mouth
favorite dish.
water. My goodness. One day, I will have to have you prepare this dish for me and my family.
Absolutely, my friend.
This
All
food
I ate
sounds
was
delightful.
potatoes.
By the way, just to make sure I heard you, those were dragon tips. You said correct, like the tips of or something.
The rib tips, the nice. You get the cuts at the end where the fat has just moistened right there. Scrumptious, my friend.
Just the tips.
I crave it.
Just the tip.
I crave it.
Sounds delicious.
Well, these heroes, by virtue of their reputation, have been gathered for a clandestine meeting in the legendary Golden Bough, the tavern between the worlds, where fairies and fiends and all manner of creatures can be seen engaging in drinking contests and arm wrestling and general frivolity. And here they meet with the disguised Baroness Germund Geisslurg, who has asked for your help, for she can find none within her own lands. You see, as I told you earlier, Baron Germund has raised a tax, ostensibly to protect the people not only from a Charlatan the dragon, but from those opportunistic raiders and countries that may seek to take this safe land and invade it and take it over. But he spent all of this purchasing fine gifts and luxuries, jewels and silks, all of which he's planning to send down the river to the city of Nenri as a gift to the Queen Delsrana, in the hopes of earning her favor. Even as the people of the city are starving and pinched down to their last gold and copper coins, he is planning on sending this great extravagance to a foreign queen, just in the hopes of getting her attention, essentially selling out all of his hardworking people. She is not in a position to directly oppose him. The powers at court are not in her favor, and she cannot be linked to any such defiance. But she thinks perhaps the four of you can help her. Because in basically the next day, one day, we'll say it's a wibbly-wobbly timeline. In 3 days, we'll just say, the shipment is going to be sent down the river of all of these treasures. She wants you to steal the treasures, spirit them away so that they can be given back, sold, and crops and food and supplies can be given to the people. She also wants you to keep something for her, though, as a keepsake. Just to rub in her husband's face should the need ever arise.
Yes, a token of sorts.
Exactly.
Yes. Understood.
Now, you would earn her favor, her clandestine secret favor, and a share of the treasure as long as the majority is returned to the good people of Bridlingtham.
Oh, certainly. We're in the
Sounds
business.
grand.
Fine by me.
Exactly.
Money is a paltry thing for me.
Now, here is what she knows about the treasures. Currently, they are being kept in the vault of the castle, a vault to which she does not have the key, nor the clearance. Her husband is jealous and secretive. You know how sometimes people like to keep their money separate? It's that sort of a deal. Currently, it is being kept in the heart of the vault. It is going to be shipped on a number, she doesn't know how many, a number of secure barges in secure, locked chests with magical seals on them. The barges will be able to make the journey in a single day from Bridlingtham all the way down the river to the city of Nenri. They will leave in the morning, they will arrive at night. If they arrive at that enchanted city, surely the treasure is beyond their reach. She does not have a plan to help you seize the loot, but she trusts that you can come up with a good one. Any questions before we begin planning our heist?
I have a question for Gertrude.
Yes.
I tell her, well, I ask her,
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of these types of Robin Hood-esque thefts before.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that always caught my old crews was guard patterns. I was wondering if she has any information on schedules, rotations.
She does not, because that is all managed by the captain of the guard.
Does he have any bad habits, like at certain times he goes to take a piss off the castle walls at certain points?
Give me a moment.
Maybe the captain has a favorite dish we could serve him with something in it.
That is 100% a legitimate option.
We could put some.
Let's start. I'm going to
within that.
have Snowhaven roll 1d12. You can just put it into chat and type /R space 1d12, and the roll will go off.
Yikes.
Maybe yikes.
The captain of the guard, his flaw is that he enjoys decadent pleasures. He loves
Food.
fine things and delicious food and good wine and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hash,
So
I
you're
think
saying-
you can use your chef skills to aid in persuading this captain to
Do you have some dragon
forget
tips?
some things.
Well, certainly
might
this
like those
captain
tips.
already knows of Hash Brown Talon and will know what to
Probably.
ask me when he sees me, if he sees me at all.
Ooh,
What
do
else
you like
does the
to sneak
party?
around?
What other questions does the party have?
Does the lady have a preference of what trinket is returned to her?
Well, she doesn't know what all he spent this money on, so if anything in particular catches your eye,
Is it going to be an issue bringing back something, or rather, I should ask, does she want to flaunt the item to her husband that we retrieve, or does she want to keep it secret?
she wants it to be easily hidden, but subtly displayed. Like if she's out and about on the town and he's being an ass, or he's in the
Like
middle
a
of court and
brooch.
he can't do anything about it. She wants to be able to just, oh, look at this bauble that I happen to have. No.
Ah.
A necklace
Something
or a,
very
a
obvious.
collar tack, yeah.
Easily hidden, but flashy.
Yes.
And preferably something that he knows that he purchased.
Mhm.
Yes. It has to be something
Distinctive.
very obvious. Yes,
Yes,
distinctive.
yes.
What kind of, do you have any type of timing on when this shipment will be out, and any type of locations that would be best to acquire these goods back?
That is up to you. She knows that it's locked up in the vault right now. At dawn in 3 days, it's going to be
3 days.
moved to the barges. The castle is built over the river, and it has its own docks. It's sort of built into the cliffside by the river.
Fancy.
So they're going to be able to bring the barges in, close like portcullis over the water, load it up, raise the portcullis, and then send the barges out.
I want to
Okay.
ask the party if we prefer espionage approach or if we prefer more kick the door down.
Traditionally, in a case like this, I'm going to add to your question. In a heist like this, you sort of have 4 main approaches. You can run a hit job, which is primarily violence, though there's other elements included in it. A con job, where you swindle, lie, and deceive. A heist, which is all about stealth. Or you can work the mark and manipulate, blackmail, intimidate, seduce, or persuade people to give you what you want. Any such plan is going to have different parts. You might have to knock out a guard, you might have to sneak. But one of those 4 approaches will sort of determine the focus of your heist.
Is the lady giving us any resources to aid us in this, or is it all on us?
It's all on you. She cannot be linked to this. Not until well after it's over.
Can
You say
I
we have? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
can I try and roll? Let me check my character sheet really quick.
While you're checking, we have 3 days, you said, to plan this.
Correct.
If it turns out that as part of our plan, are we able to come to either her or a contact to acquiesce an item that may be helpful, something to that effect?
You may certainly ask.
Very good.
I want to roll a perception check to make sure no one in the bar is watching us and identifies the lady.
Okay. Roll perception
What's
check.
happening? I want to change like the flames to white, like a soft blue white color. Just all the candles just start changing to that color.
Okay. Roll perception. Perception 14. You notice a goblin in the corner who might have a little bit of an ear out for what you are saying.
Oh,
Is he the fellow playing the piano?
A suspicious figure indeed.
Is that Jeff Kaplan? Okay. As we are continuing the conversation, I want to like nonchalantly keep an eye on the goblin, but I want to ready an action If the
Okay.
goblin tries to leave,
Mhm.
I want to draw on him.
Okay.
Can Hash roll for another beer?
Oh, you don't have to roll for a beer. You just say,
Oh.
bartender, bring me another.
Barkeep, another ale.
All right. Barkeep goes over, taps a keg, and then one of the bar attendants is busy at another table and uses mage hand, and a spectral hand seizes the tankard and floats it over to you, sloshing only a little along the way.
As it's coming over, I want to. I was going to actually make it sound like it's like moaning sounds coming from the hand. I was gonna make it woo
All right, so
coming
that
from the hand as
actually,
it floated over.
that actually happens. The thing I just said actually occurs.
I was totally gonna do that.
So Dakota, the rule essentially is you only have to make a roll if there's a chance of failure. So your character can like get up, move around the room, talk to somebody, etc., and you don't have to make a roll. But if you are trying to like see through someone's poker face or jump a difficult gap or anything that like there's a chance of failure and there's stakes if there's failure, then you have to roll.
So I don't have to roll if I order one beer, but I try to like slam 10 beers.
Yes,
I have to roll for that.
You're gonna roll if you want to do that, which you absolutely may. Roll a Constitution saving throw. Your saving throws are near the top left of your character sheet.
Okay.
On the main tab. They just pull you up here.
Character. All right, I have my character sheet up.
Yep. So on the farthest left is you've got your actual ability scores, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then to the right of that, there's sort of a column, and it's got inspiration at the top, then your proficiency bonus, then a box full of your saving throws. So click on the word Constitution in that box, and it'll roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, I clicked it. Now what?
Did you click the word Constitution?
Oh, I clicked the box.
Yeah, click the word. Oh, you just made yourself proficient. Okay, I'm going to turn that off.
I clicked the word?
Yeah, click the word Constitution.
All right, I clicked
there it is.
Okay, you got a 7. This is on a roll of 1 to 20. So you rolled, you got a 5, you added 2. That's not great. You are now shit-faced.
Oh, no. Okay. Sweet. Oh.
So, Hash, how were you saying the process for making those dragon tip ribs? That you had to go find a dragon, I'm assuming, step 1. What happened after that?
Well, every dragon has a weakness. And when you hit them in the right spot, they're the most tender. That's the piece that you cut.
Oh, I see.
I'm gonna be sick.
So as I see him getting having been sufficiently shit-faced, I'm going to cause the ground underneath him to just tremor a little bit to try and get him to throw up. I'm wanting to get him to throw up.
Well,
like his chair and stuff starts like wobbling a little bit.
Mm-hmm. He's got the spins, but it's real. And chat just gave you disadvantage.
Oh, hell yeah.
So the way that's going to work...
The dragon tips are coming back up.
I do believe
sheet.
I might have gotten a disadvantage earlier. Captain Kirk did it, and or Kink, whatever.
Yep.
And it said the cloud follows. I'm guessing that's me.
No, that was on Darius.
Okay.
That was on Darius. So Darius,
my character
is I'm notorious for that.
Yeah, he always just gets dunked on with disadvantage.
Yeah, I know, but when you said the cloud, I was like, my character kind of fits with what I was saying right there. Got it. Cool. Just wanted to make sure.
I mean, if you'd like to take one, I
don't
Darius saddles over to Asuro and says, well, friend, we share and share alike in this group. If you'd like to go ahead and let some of this poor luck of mine rub off on you, as seeing as you're in good with the fortune's favor, this might not be a bad thing.
For now, I will hold off on that. I see that you enjoy your bad luck at times.
Oh, yes, a dark cloud hangs over me.
Hey, don't make fun of me.
All right, so here's how this is going to work. Hash, on your character sheet, there's 3 columns. At the top of the middle column, there's the words advantage, normal, and disadvantage.
Yes.
Chat has given you disadvantage, and your chair is swaying, so now you have to roll a saving throw not to puke. So you've turned on disadvantage.
I've clicked disadvantage. It's red.
Yep. Now you're going to roll another Constitution saving throw.
So I click Constitution.
Yep.
Okay.
Double nat 20 incoming.
All right, so the way disadvantage works is you have to roll 2 different dice, and you have to take the worst of the 2.
So I roll again.
No, you see how 2 numbers appeared in chat, an 11 and a
Oh.
6, and the 6 is
Yes.
highlighted? It already took care of that for you. So
Oh, no.
you got a 6 on your save to not puke. The good news is your disadvantage is now gone. The bad news is you need to pick a corner to puke in. Or, it doesn't have to be a corner, wherever you want.
Wherever you want.
Okay, I'll go do that. Do I have to do that in game? Do I move myself?
You're welcome to. Like, we're not in battle, so the positioning doesn't totally matter, but you're welcome to pick yourself up, drag yourself somewhere, and just say, I vom here.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna go over here real quick. Just don't look.
If he goes over there, I want to just make the sound louder. Just increase the loudness by like 3 times. Just
The way
Darius
he's
is
able to
gonna
do
go-
all this,
he's
by the
gonna
way,
hold his
is
hair.
pushing.
The glaze.
Darius is gonna go hold Hash's hair to make sure it doesn't get desecrated.
Joe,
I
Yes.
just start chuckling.
in this confusion,
Mhm.
I want to try and draw up a brief sketch of Gertrude while she's like
Mhm.
looking at this, and I want to save it for blackmail.
What a
Okay.
great spot.
Interesting. Do you have a proficiency in like sketching or painting or anything like that?
I'm gonna spin it that it is my years and years of reading fabled books. I can make a rough outline of what someone looks like.
Okay. I'm going to allow that.
So what role do you want?
If you don't have a direct proficiency, let's call it a intelligence roll. Just click on your intelligence score.
Just flat.
Yeah, just
Alright.
flat int check. Roll to int. You int.
It's a stick figure. It's a stick figure.
You know,
We're rolling
technically,
hot tonight, you guys.
what's stopping us from altering your image to have the Duchess be throwing up in the corner, and everyone here can corroborate on that.
Oh.
That ability.
Oh.
All right. Task failed successfully.
Failed to run. Okay.
All right.
Hash will be all right. Hash will be okay.
Yeah, you feel
Okay,
better.
okay.
Better out than in.
As I'm chuckling and they're over there, he's vomiting and he's helping him not get hair in his face. I want to whisper to Collins, relatively, be like, so what do you think about this whole situation? This guy seems kind of I don't know. He seems kind of sketchy. I don't know. What do you think about the whole thing?
It's been
You're
5
talking
minutes,
about
and he's
you're
already
talking about
plummeting the
Hash?
party into chaos.
No, the Baron. The Baron.
My throwing up is suspect.
I think I just lean forward because like I'm leaning back on the chair.
Mhm.
I just lean forward. I put like one elbow on the table. I like jostle my one stem of wheat in my mouth, and I'm like, I think this bastard's got to go down, and I think we're just the idiots to do it.
Yes.
And
Do you like to be aggressive with this, or how do you like to do things? You sneaky?
I say we pull a little half sneaky, a little half con. Once Hash there sobers up,
I'm
Yeah,
coming
think-
back.
I think when a Hash sobers up, we get in good with the officer. We wind
Mhm.
him up, and then I think he spills the beans where the vault is.
Yeah.
I think we pilfer him for any of his such valuables, i.e., a vault key. Then I think we make our way in real nice and quiet, like into the vault.
I kind of like that idea. Although I think we might want to wait until it's out of the. I feel like the Baron's gonna watch it all the way until it's out on the ships. We'll have to wait until it's out of the city.
I think we should
But-
hit it when they transfer it with them boats.
Yeah, I think that might be these, but I don't know how we'd be able to like grab everything and bring it back without getting noticed.
I think that's what these are for, and I spin my guns.
Now, gentlemen,
Did I-
quick question here. Just to clarify, they are going to be transporting the goods from this vault onto that flotilla, the barge, and
Yeah.
we know that's going to be happening. We said by nightfall or in 3 days' time.
3 days, dawn,
3 days
dawn of
time.
3 days.
So we might have to do a little finagling to see if we can make this happen. But what if we tried to pull some kind of a switcheroo? If we were to fabricate a carriage or cart to look as close as possible to the actual payload, and then we caused a ruckus. We either ourselves or by hiring some mercenaries or highwaymen attacked the carriage en route, and then during the commotion, pulled the carriage with the goods off the road and replaced it with the herring of sorts, and then had that be
So
delivered.
we'd have to get onto the barge to do that.
Right. So I want to remind you, Darius, replace the word carriage with boats, and you're
Yeah.
good because it's
Okay,
all.
so where is the barge coming? Or sorry, where is the
Yeah.
vault coming from?
No worries. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna put us back on the map of Otisvale so I can explain the exact flow here.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because I would assume to get on the barge, are the goods already on? Does the barge have a vault, or is it coming from a vault to the barge and then downriver?
The castle of the Baron is built over the river, and it has its own docks, its own
I see.
gated docks on the river. So when you're sailing down the river, you can actually enter it if they'll let you in the portcullis, and there's like a little harbor inside there. It's a small loading area inside the castle built down into the water. So they are going to take the treasure from the vault, load it onto these barges, and the barges with with guards and everything are going to sail down the river. So your plan would work, but you'd need to replace it with a boat, which might be more difficult.
So I tell Darius, I say, I'm liking this subterfuge, but what if we tampered with the
Mhm.
docks and we made it inaccessible via boat
That's
that
an
we-
incredible idea.
so that we could trick them into making an emergency carriage run?
And it would just so happen if we can convince either the Duchess to give us a good tip off there, or someone else. Maybe if we can make friends with this captain, we might be able to offer the services of a last minute coach that would be able to assist with this.
Once Hash there is done puking, we might need to get him to whip up something delicious and tempt this captain to get us in on the good graces. If we can, maybe even if all we do is just take over the barge from the get-go inside the keep, like we are the guards that escort it, maybe that might be what takes us down the river and we just disembark at one point.
That's what Hash
I-
was thinking. Why
I
don't we
want-
don't have to steal the treasure? We just have to steal the barges.
I want to look at Gertrude.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask her, how do I know this ain't a setup?
At the moment, you don't.
I'd like to roll an insight check on her.
Okay, roll.
And Gnomes, if I could direct your attention to the map for a second.
Yes,
This right here, Brigham, is where we is, and this is where we're going, right?
correct. It's 1 day travel by boat, but it's 3
And it's a
days
straight
travel.
shot.
It's 3 days travel by road.
Where's
But
the
it's
Golden
a-
Bough in relation to the castle?
The Golden Bough is everywhere. If you
Well, it's kind of up to us to be ported where we want to start, right?
Yeah, essentially, as soon as you're ready to go out there and start prepping for the heist, you're gonna open the door and walk out into Bridlingtham, into the city. But you could be elsewhere. Insight 19. The Baroness is sad and angry and betrayed, and you don't sense any sort of subterfuge or deception on her part.
Say to him like, this is a woman scorned. I don't think she's belying us. She wants some little bit of revenge here.
Joe, how's
And
my?
no,
Go ahead.
oh no, I'm wondering if we could maybe if any of us are either good at being able to know this area with nature checks, or if we can try and track the area. Do we know, or could we find out if there are any along this this river here? You know how some places have little outlets where it won't turn into a whole new river or creek, but it kind of spills out for a bit. I'm wondering if there'd be somewhere where, depending on how we do this, we might be able to hide something along the path and do some kind of switcheroo there as well.
Can you use the restroom real quick?
Copy.
I can hear.
All right, so to know more about the lay of the land, a nature check will tell you about sort of the layout of the river, and a history check will tell you about settlements and structures along the way. So anybody who has proficiency in those skills, you can make a roll. If no one has proficiency, you can make a roll, but your results will not be as good. Did I get to everybody who had a question? I thought Snowhaven had a question.
I was just gonna check in on my goblin friend nonchalantly.
He's not playing the piano anymore. He's sort of scooted over just a bit. But he hasn't
Like towards
left.
the door.
Yeah, towards the door, but he hasn't left.
Okay. Can I get up
Mm-hmm.
and I want to walk to the door
Mm-hmm.
because I trust the boys to come up with the plan.
Mm-hmm.
I want to walk. This bastard's the goblin, right?
Yes.
Okay, I want to walk and lean against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
But my action's still ready.
Yep. So you're just sort of sitting there, you know, one hand
It's
not on your guns, but close.
It's on the belt,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a violent draw. It's like a quick pull up under his chin, like.
I mean that's violent, but it's not murderous.
It's not apparent to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
an
like
obvious draw.
freeze, criminal scum.
Do I see? Obviously, I see Colin's head that way. Do I see the goblin looking shifty?
Yep, just leaning up against the wall, just.
I'm going to walk up to him, and I'd like to cast Charm Person.
Okay.
Ooh.
DC 15 Wisdom save.
All right, I'm rolling.
Or sorry, 14.
I'm rolling with advantage. Thank you, chat.
No, chat.
Hey!
I have
Mercy.
a 10 and I have a 19.
Ah!
That is a successful save. So
Chat.
you walk over and you try Hash. One of your co-conspirators is leaning casually against the wall, sort of body blocking this goblin, and your Genasi pal just tried to put a spell on him. What are you gonna do? The goblin's just sort of leaning up against the wall, attempting and being awfully failing at being inconspicuous.
Can I cast a spell?
Yes, depending on the spell.
Okay, can I cast Find Traps?
Yes.
Because this Hash thinks this goblin man is sketchy, and I want to see his traps, if any.
All
I
right.
believe he might be.
So it takes one action, which is like 3 seconds. And when you activate the spell, you can detect traps within 120 feet. It says.
Am I still in normal, by the way, or disadvantage, or?
Your disadvantage
still
is
disadvantaged.
gone. No, you used it once on that one roll.
Okay.
Yep.
So now what do I do?
So you've cast the spell, and the way that the spell works, I just pulled it up.
Okay.
Is you don't learn the location of each trap, but you do detect whether there are traps in the area and the general nature of the danger posed by the trap. So you do sense a trap. It is annoying but not lethal.
Okay. Well, Hash has nothing to worry about. Well, nothing that could possibly take his life, so I guess I'll ignore it.
All right.
And not say anything to anybody except myself.
Perfect. Hash speaketh in the third person. So Hash casts Find Traps. Asuro just cast Charm Person. It was Ira or Ira? I forget.
Ira.
Collins to you.
Collins, right?
No,
Collins to you.
Joe gets a pass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Joe gets a pass.
DM is on the in. He's on the he's on the in
the
circle.
DM's tight. I don't want disadvantage.
DM is nobody's friend.
Not everybody's friend.
All right. So the only person who hasn't sort of done anything about this shifty goblin is Darius. Darius, what do you do?
He's just a goblin. He was playing the piano.
I don't like the cut of his jib.
I mean, worst case scenario, he's listening in on us to report something, and best case scenario, he's just a goblin playing a piano.
What goblin do you know plays a piano?
I mean, I've known quite a few goblins.
Well, maybe I share with the crew that there's
he was
a trick.
Right, good chap. I'm sure Chonk is fine.
Oh, he shares with us. There's a trap.
Again, he's not made any moves to show that has he been obviously overhearing us? I know that Collins is pretty interested in him.
It's pretty obvious.
Joe.
Yes.
I want to lean in and whisper, like, I point at Hash, like, do you know who that is?
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna come over here, and I'm just gonna saddle up right next to Chonk the Goblin, who I don't
Okay.
know his name,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna be bringing a platter of cheese and a drink with me. Hello there, good sir. My companion here, the good Collins, appears to have you've forgotten his eye. Come sit, have a drink with us. Let's talk for a moment. That was a rather nice tune you were playing earlier. And without even him responding, I'm gonna put an arm around his back, cheese platter hand, and just kind of start gently leading him back towards our table.
Okay.
I want to put my arm on his other side and walk him along.
Smoke bomb!
Can I persuade him to kind of make him feel a little more at ease? I'm not trying to be super intimidating with this guy.
Okay, roll a persuade as he's like, smoke bomb!
Smoke bomb!
Like he just says smoke bomb.
He pulls something out of his mouth. Smoke bomb! Do you want to roll a persuasion check?
Hey, buddy, here we go.
Hey!
Is that the trap?
15.
That was the trap, is the smoke bomb. So he's just sort of holding it there. Smoke bomb!
In his hand, like up in the air.
Yes, with the smoke bomb in his hand.
He's been just waiting
pull that
all
up.
night. He's been waiting all night for someone to come and talk to him so he can just scream smoke bomb and just run out of the
That's his
club.
final act.
He's playing the piano and it's like, if somebody comes up and tips him, smoke bomb!
I feel like
just blows up.
we've got another goblin hiding in the corner. Like, you're on candid camera. Yeah, we got you.
Ashton Kutcher comes out of the Golden Bow's door. Pranked!
All right. The two of you successfully strong-armed the goblin into... You know, I put Sideshow's picture in there as a gag. It wasn't supposed to be a goblin.
Goblin friend. Let me have your
He can come
cheese.
sit over here by me.
Can Braun have his cheese? Hash Braun wants his cheese.
Oh, yes, certainly. Let's go ahead and start passing that out. I know these look like candles, but they're actually cheese. This is just tons of cheese.
Candles are actually blue right now.
Is the
All
cheese
the candles
blue?
are glowing blue right now, so they're not, unless it's a blue cheese. Yeah.
It's
Blue
moldy
cheese.
Did Gertrude leave?
Wait. Your candles are blue? Oh my god, it's worse than I thought.
You actually spot some cheese?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Hey, actually, not that it's super important, but mate, where does this cheese come from?
Well, I mean, you're in the Golden Bough. You know they only work with the finest around here, right? So
I'm just
obviously...
wondering. I know that there's a particular kind of cheese. Like, gosh, I forget. There's a Duke or a Marquis.
No, it's
that
the
sells
Baron,
cheese?
the cheese Baron. You don't want to
Oh,
mess
the
with the
Baron!
cheese Duke.
That's
the cheese
right.
Duke is
Cheese
not
Baron.
nearly as understanding.
Right. Yeah, don't want to mess up with that.
Yes, but the
But
cheese Baron.
this
yes.
isn't the cheese. This is good cheese, but it's not the cheese.
Well, it's not the
right?
demon blood cheese. That would be outrageous.
That sounds like something a hero would eat.
Because I mean, you don't just offer someone demon blood cheese. You got to
Exactly.
start them off on a good goat,
Mhm.
maybe a cheddar if you're really feeling it. But yeah, no, we gotta
Mhm.
work our way up the cheese ladder. You know what I mean?
You gotta
Are you
work
saying
them
all
things
this to
at
the
top.
goblin?
I'm explaining it to him in great detail.
Yeah.
Just the intricacies.
Wait,
of cheese.
where is the lady?
I don't have her on the map. I was actually just looking for a
okay.
piece because I will be real with you. I expected this scene to be over by now, so I didn't
Dude,
have
so
a piece.
okay. I'm like, what
No,
are we
it's
still
fine.
doing?
This is, everyone's having fun. This is fine by me.
No, because
What
we
time
keep
of day
name
is
dropping her, and I'm like, where is she? I don't even see her. Is she invisible?
That's what I'm saying. She
What
left.
time of day is it for us here?
You know, the
Does
Golden
time
Bough
exist?
is kind of like Vegas.
Time doesn't exist.
There are no windows, and it's always nice and warm and merry inside, and people drink heavily, so kind of hard to tell.
After we get this goblin over here, I'm going to cast disguise stuff on myself to make myself look exactly like the goblin.
Nice. I like it.
Okay, now there are two goblins.
Hashtag cheese.
I just want to put my hands on my head, side of my face like this, and just be like, just stare right at him.
Mm-hmm.
Cheese
So,
heist.
I think our line of why are there two of them now?
Oh,
Did this
And
goblin
then I'll
replicate?
say,
Oh, that's right.
and I want to use thaumaturgy to make an explosion sound out of my hand as I like throw something up. Just
Okay.
I just want to try to scare the goblin.
Bomb!
Smoke bomb!
And that's what I'm doing. I'm just staring at the goblin.
Okay, the goblin is now staring at the goblin, and having an existential crisis. Just twitchily touching the smoke bomb as the only anchor of reality he has left.
Darius kind of shakes his hand. No. It's okay. Put that away. You're not going to need that here. See, we've got cheese. We've got cheese. We've got friends. Look, we've got your mirror friend right over there. Everything's going to be fine. Again, kind of gesturing over at Collins. My friend here noticed that you were having a pretty intense gaze on us, and we just kind of want to see how you're doing. You know, we're new to town. We're trying to make friends, and you seem like a friendly sort. What are you doing here? What's going on?
I just played the music and it makes everyone happy. That's a good thing, right?
Well, that's wonderful, but I mean, you don't play the music for a few moments and then just duck out the back door. I mean, what were you?
You don't?
What were you? Well, I mean, I might stay a little too long, maybe when I'm past my welcome, but
that's a huge no-go in goblin culture. Very rude.
I do know that it truly is. I'm trying to become more woke with my goblin.
Your inner goblin.
Decencies. And that's what I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to increase my my bounds, my horizons, and I think you can really help. By the way, Darius Ravengard, noble from a long lost land. How are you doing today, sir? What's your name?
Chonk.
Chonk, very good. Chonk,
my
you
name
play
is
a wonderful
Chonk.
piano, and you have a really nice looking smoke powder there.
Bomb!
Again,
Smoke bomb.
It's a smoke bomb.
Hash loves that. Say it again, goblin.
Smoke bomb. His hand
Time he does this, I
uncontrollably,
repeat
as he
it.
says the catchphrase, reaches for it and it rises up to hurl it against the ground.
Joe.
Yes.
Wait, he's gonna throw it on the ground right now?
Just when he says that, it's like an instinct.
Can
Smoke bomb!
can I quick draw into a disarming shot?
Yes. Roll the attack. This is obviously a non-lethal shot.
Yeah, I have to drop a grit because I'm using a grit here.
Mm-hmm.
just don't roll a 1, for the love of God.
I got you. And then hang on. Let me find it really quick. Okay.
So you
let me
make
read
the
it.
attack first.
Yep, when you make a firearm attack. Okay, I
Are
just
you
roll.
shooting him?
No, I'm shooting the
Hand
smoke
Shooting the
bomb.
smoke bomb out of his hand.
Now, here's,
I know
I know what your intention is by shooting the smoke bomb out of his hand, but isn't that just going to shoot the smoke bomb, though?
No.
Okay.
It'll push. I'm making sure to use a very special bolt for these type of shots. That's what the left pistol's for.
Oh, I got you. It's the disarming
got it.
pistol. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Modern
the disarming
problems
pistol.
require modern solutions.
Modern solution. All right, so I click the pistol experimental, right?
Yep. Krakow!
Hey!
Okay.
Absolutely shoot it out of the air.
Yeah, I want to spin the gun, load in a new bolt real fancy, and then put it back in the holster.
All right. Within the flash of a second, just and the smoke bomb fumbles from his hand and it falls towards the ground. Hash, you're closest.
Aha!
Would you like to catch it?
I catch it.
Okay.
Or I
Roll
try
a
to.
dexterity save to catch the smoke bomb.
Okay, how do I go to core, right? And then I click dexterity?
Yep, it's the same way that you except I think you're proficient in this. So remember,
Yes.
you've got your scores on the left. You're not looking for that. You're looking for the saving throw box. And
Yes,
your
saving throw
dexterity is in
box.
there.
All right, I'm going to click it. I'm going to catch it.
Yes, you are.
Nice.
I caught it.
Congratulations, you've acquired a smoke bomb.
The best hand.
As this happens, I want to invoke duplicity and make another version of the goblin sitting right next to me, just like appearing, doing the exact same thing that I just copying it. And
You
every
just
time
said-
the goblin says something, we both just mimic it immediately.
You're gonna melt Chong's mind.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Pretty much.
Okay.
That's and then just do that.
So, Chunk, you see, the thing here, as you've noticed, my companion is very good at being able to, how we should say, imitate perfectly those around him. I know that, you play the music and you throw the smoke bombs. That's wonderful. But you don't really want to get on the bad side of this crew here, and you're starting to do that. We're offering you cheese. We're trying to have a nice talk with you, and you're trying to throw bombs at us, man. That's just not the way to do things. So here's the thing: if you don't want,
And both myself and my duplicate just repeat the same thing. No smoke
If you-
bomb.
If you don't want Chalk 2 and 3 to go out and do some devilish, terrible things in your name, I think you need to spill the cheese on what's going on and what you're doing
When
here.
he says this, the duplicate Chonk will go over to the piano and kind of like do like a little twirl and sit down on it like he's about to go play. And I'll start playing it, and I'll use thaumaturgy to just make just discordant noises happen. Just
Oh, Chonk, no, gosh, that's not how you don't use your feet on the piano. Oh, no.
Bad chunk.
Bad
Okay,
job.
Darius, roll an intimidation check. Oh.
Now, here's the thing. I'm sitting pretty on some pretty bad layers of disadvantage. Just want to make sure that we're clear.
Did you see what AWC said in chat? The parents has gotten up to find a different party to hire. No, you rolled a 7.
Some guy said the party's objective has gone from let's heist to let's not and say we did.
Chonk.
Chonk will never talk. Chonk is sworn to secrecy.
Joe,
What? Sworn to secrecy? Well, now that sounds very suspicious, John.
I
Snow,
want to
go.
stand up.
Uh-huh.
I want to stand up on the table, walk towards Chonk, draw.
You
Be like,
split-
you got one last chance. Like kick the cheese off the table.
And Hash catches it.
Hash, roll
He
another
catches the
dexterity
cheese.
saving throw.
Okay, he catches the cheese in his mouth.
Does he? He does!
He catches it in his mouth, and it's delicious.
A natural
Oh.
26. Oh, well, there's no such thing as a natural 26. That's ridiculous. But you catch the cheese. You eat the cheese. It is fine cheese.
Delicious.
Cheese worthy of hash.
A cheese worthy of hash. Straight from the cheesemonger of the cheese baron himself. Roll an intimidation check, Collins.
Do I have an advantage because I shot the smoke bomb out of his hand?
And you kicked the cheese.
He's just
Oh,
petrified
hell
because he
yeah.
sees
So-
two of himself.
Okay, I got a 14.
Okay. Chunk is working for the nefarious outlaw known to some in these lands as Steve.
I stole the gun and I dropped the gun in my hip. Your bad guy's name is Steve?
That's only his.
I start to repeat that, and then as I get to Steve, I'm just like, Steve?
I can't. He's like, I can't do that. Well, you see, it's an alias of sorts. He's very mysterious. He wears a mask. He's a fantastic robber and a thief. And he's gonna steal the treasure before you can, and nobody can know his real name, so we all call him
I check.
Steve. Because he steals things. And he's very good at it.
That's an inside check to see if he's telling us the truth.
Yes, as far as you can tell.
I get off the
Steve
table.
sounds dangerous.
Okay.
I don't want to get kicked out by the fine patrons of
So I'm gonna
Golden
walk
Bough.
up to him as himself.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be like, so, buddy, here we we're the same person. Let's be friends, and just tell us everything you know about Steve. And I'm gonna try to cast Charm Person on him again.
Okay.
Hash is moving over because this is getting weird. Another ale. Miss.
All right. Roll a Constitution save. Hash.
All right.
You've already puked, so a natural 20 for the save against your charm. Chunk refuses to
oh my
betray
god, he's
Steve.
a unit. Dude, Chunk's a goddamn warrior.
He's a warrior. He's got no wisdom, and he's just like nailing it.
Hash,
You're
you're
like-
drunk out of your mind again.
I think we found the raid boss of this game is Chunk the Goblin.
Chunk, it's like forget the heist. We gotta warn the people about Chunk.
Forget the brainwashing elven queen. It's the fucking Chunk
Oh,
goblin.
thank goodness we have some kind of an edge on Chunk the Goblin now.
Oh, how long have we been here?
Time is an illusion.
It's been
You know, it's hard to tell.
Chunk got disadvantage and Chunk got advantage. But which of these is the real Chunk?
Which
is,
Chunk? Which...
Oh my god, you're right.
is Hash in disadvantage because I am drunk?
Yeah, so you have the poisoned condition for being drunk.
Oh.
You're not taking any damage, But while you're poisoned, you have disadvantage on all ability checks and attack rolls that you make. So if you make a saving throw, no disadvantage. But if you make basically any other roll, you have disadvantage.
Oh, that sounds great.
Mr. DM, man. Seeing as I'm not a criminal myself, but have dealt with the darker end of things. Have any of us, not just myself, have any of us heard of this Steve, the inscrutable possible highwayman?
Yes, you get the impression he doesn't actually normally go by the title of Steve. Things may have been lost in translation via Chonk. He is, however, a notorious masked bandit in the area who likes to stage flashy crimes and let everybody know that he's pulled it off. And if Chonk is spying on you, then this mysterious masked bandit is probably after the same loot.
Okay, so we see ourselves.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. No, please.
I'm just gonna say, Darius, maybe what if Chonk, you come in on this too? We are the same brain here. Would Steve be willing to work with us to accomplish this task?
I was thinking the same thing, Chonk number 2. Chonk number 1, what do you think? Do you think this would be something we'd be able to ascertain? It's better to be friends than rivals.
Chonk number 3 stands up and says, "That's a good idea."
Can I flash a little gold bag at Chonk? Be like, there's a little bit in it for you too, and I put up like a little bag on the table.
Yes.
I can have this gold? Thank you.
Chonk takes the gold. And the other Chonk is like, which Chonk is Chonk number 1? Chonk is losing grip on reality.
Okay, I lose
Darius,
3 gold.
Darius looks to Chonk 2 and says, hey, maybe we should inquire with Chonk 3. Maybe he... Oh god, the piano. Oh god, he's still going.
Just in the background, super discordant.
Everybody in the party, roll 1d20. And if you've never done that before, in the chat window, if you just type /r space 1d20, it'll roll for you.
Playing golf, right?
Can we golf?
We are not playing golf. So, chat handed out a treasure earlier. And that's going to go to the highest roller, who's going to be Asura Whelm.
6.
With a 6. We're really throwing big numbers today. You've managed... Chonk, in his confusion, dropped a potion of climbing, which you have now acquired.
Nice.
Oh,
or
how
lucky. As the true Chonk, maybe he had it all along and only just now realized it.
Chonk dropped it. Chonk picked it up.
Maybe the real treasure was the chonks we made along the
way.
Yes.
We tell the Baroness you got your treasure right here. 3 goblins.
Hash wants to go to the piano and play a song from his homeland, but play it as well as he can under those circumstances.
All right. So, first off, I did notice in chat that we had another name generator. Steve is not the name of the outlaw. That would be ridiculous, right? Like, what kind of an outlaw is named Steve? No, his true identity is the Great Tiddlywinks.
Yeah.
Have I read stories about him?
Yeah, he's sort of this debonair gentleman thief who keeps what he steals, but leaves behind a little trinket.
Dude, I like to.
So at this point, it's probably been a minute. My duplicity's gone.
All right. So how this is going to work, Hash, is you're going to move yourself to the piano. You're going to roll a performance check. So your performance skill is on your character sheet as well. And it is in that left-hand column, but it's farther down. I believe.
Oh, I don't have any points for this.
Well, you're gonna roll it nonetheless.
And he's drunk
with disadvantage because you're wasted.
Disadvantage.
Yeah. So turn on disadvantage at the top and click performance.
Oh, my mother told me this one.
Hey, that's not bad. That's average.
It's no Flight of the Bumblebee, but it's all right. It's. Can
I cast Alcoholics Anonymous?
I'll do the burn with my thaumaturgy. Just
is Chonk's mind intact?
Well, first off, chat has just been loading Chonk with advantage and disadvantage.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so first we're gonna burn through this disadvantage. Chonk is gonna roll a wisdom saving throw to hold on to reality. And he has disadvantage on this roll.
Oh, did disadvantage went out in that war?
Oh shit!
No, I'm just not using his inspiration.
Ah,
I'm just burning through it. Okay, so
Chonk.
Chonk's mind is failing.
Oh.
I think Bradley's been doing the most harm to it. So Bradley, do me a favor and roll 1d100.
Poor Chonk. Oh my god, you got 96!
96. Alright, let's see what happens to Chonk's brain.
Chonk
Where are those?
disintegrates.
Wop, 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 wop.
Smoke bomb! And he blows up.
Smoke bomb!
Then he just fucking dies.
Okay, 96. Chonk falls unconscious.
That's it!
As the piano sounds like echo in his brain, it's just, you know, that Slender Man. Dun, 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 and Chonk falls unconscious.
What is Gertrude doing during all this?
Gertrude has left. Gertrude is just gonna be like, okay, well, I'm sure in 3 days' time everything will work out just fine. You clearly don't know me. Bye.
that was nice.
Oh, how do I move myself with the arrows?
So if you
Yeah.
click on your token to like, you know how you can pick yourself up and drag yourself?
Yeah.
When you've picked yourself up, but before you put yourself down, right click and you'll see a ruler pop up.
Oh,
Bless.
around the piano I go.
Yeah. And wow, that was fast. You figured out how to push waypoints. Excellent. If you right click
You're
again,
fast
you
as
can
fuck,
set
boy.
waypoint. You're fast as fuck, boy.
Well, you can't be the greatest chef in the endless ocean without doing a little paddling.
Okay.
I want to try and rally the party.
All right.
I say, boys, we had ourselves some laughs. We fished out some evidence that we might have an ally. We have a rough plan, but I'm sure we'll fix it as we walk there. I think it's time to saddle up, pay our tab, and go rob a son of a bitch.
Yeah, I think we should take care of Chonk here.
Says
I
Chonk.
And,
start drawing my gun. Take care of him, or
I mean,
take care of him.
I think his brain might have melted. I'm not entirely sure. Probably a lot for him.
Can I loot him?
I was gonna say let's loot him, and then let's kind of take
Maybe- Let's not loot him in the middle of the bar after.
let's take him out.
Are you looting the Chonk who's talking to you, or are you looting the Chonk who's passed out on the floor?
I'm looting the passed out Chonk.
Okay. All right. You go through his pockets, and so I'm gonna come out from behind the curtain here for a moment to explain a little bit of how the heist rules work.
Yes, please.
The way that the heist rules work is they allow us to streamline the process of planning and executing the heist. Rather than drawing out like a full map of, okay, here's the exact floor plan of the castle, and here's, where all the guards are, and here's every single corner of the river. Basically, we're going to do them like movie scenes. So the first part of this is you're going to make your plan. And when you're going to pick one of those 4 types of jobs that we outlined. You're going to make your plan. During the planning phase, each of you gets to make a skill check to participate in the plan. If you succeed, you earn inspiration. During the heist itself, if you've ever seen Ocean's 11 or any heist movie, the heist starts, things start to go wrong, like, oh, there's a complication we didn't expect, but then there's a flashback to when they came in on, and they had already replaced they were disguised and they were amongst them all along, or earlier I drugged the guards' food, stuff like that. During the heist, you will be able to spend inspiration to have a flashback and make up something that you did before, so that it's all part of the plan, right?
All right.
So looting, for example, you guys loot Chonk the Goblin. You find a couple of primitive prototype safety pins, a ball of sap, 2 toothpicks, and a crumpled up rag. And a perfectly anatomically correct goat. statue.
If you think I'm not writing this down, you're wrong. Can you repeat that?
You said
Are
a
the
goat.
toothpicks dirty?
Yes.
Oh, never mind.
All right.
The crumpled up cloth thing.
Mhm.
Like, can I uncrumple it and see if there's any writing on there?
So there isn't, unless during the heist you use a point of inspiration to say that there was something incredibly valuable on it, and you make it up at the time. You feel me? That's what I'm saying.
Got it.
When you loot Chonk the Goblin, you can work that in later if you want, but aside from the potion of climbing that chat gave you by giving you treasure points, there's nothing specific in there.
And you said he had a goat on him?
Yeah.
It was an anatomically correct wooden goat statue.
Oh, okay.
You didn't like...
It's a key. It's a key, boys. We need it.
You know, it's D&D. I had no idea what you could be shoving in this goblin's pocket.
Smoke bomb!
Ah, it blows
Yeah,
up.
does he have any more smoke?
Beat that.
No, he only had the one smoke bomb, which Hash now has.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Like, hold
so we need
it.
2 toothpicks, maple syrup, crumpled up cloth, wooden goat. It could be important later. We're not sure.
I didn't
What?
even say
You know?
maple syrup, but you know what? We're gonna roll with
It's
it.
ball of sap.
It's not.
Ball
No,
of
it's a
sap.
ball of
Oh, okay.
maple syrup. All right. What's the next phase in our
Right. Well, first off,
heist plan?
based on the kind of plan that you guys are making, if you're gonna pick one of these 4 types of jobs, so come up with a basic plan. Like you were explaining to me earlier, you had one plan where you were going to hit it while it's in the vault. You had another plan where you're going to sabotage the docks and force them to use wagons instead. You had another plan where you were going to get your own boat and like do a switcheroo. So basically, you pick your plan, and the type of job really just determines like, okay, is this going to be more about violence, stealth, or deception? So
I have an idea.
So pitch a plan, and it does, again, it's not like, do we go in through the east window or the west window? It's just come up with a plan as a party. Then each of you is going to do something to prepare for the plan, and you're going to tell me what that is. So, go.
All right, boys, listen up. I think that we use Hash's what's the word? Reputation,
Yeah.
and we forge ourselves a little invite from the Queen of the Elves. We say that Hash is her personal chef, which she invited into the city years ago. And then he brings her, the Baron, a nice special elven dish, which gets us access to the captain of the guard, who's going to come meet us first to make sure we're not shifty. Then we smooze him real good. Fine wine, the dragon nips, or whatever you were going to prepare.
Oh, yes, sir.
And then I think that we go from there.
So do we want to, would you want to do a combination of the con, or do we want to kind of like this stealth and deceive? I kind of like the combination.
They all have, like, each of the 4 types of jobs. That doesn't actually matter that much. It's more like what percentage violence versus deception versus, stealth.
I think we seem pretty low on the violence aspect.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, keep going.
Oh, I'm just down to lie.
I was going to say,
did you
I can't be
gentlemen like
quiet.
the idea of trying
I
to...
can help you be quiet.
Okay, that's true.
And as I do that, I'll go up and touch him and give him blessing of the trickster just because I can.
Okay, what does that do?
Gives him advantage on stealth checks.
Great. And you'll be able to
Awesome.
use that again, like, during the actual phases.
I can do it as much as I want. It's an action, and it lasts for an hour.
Excellent.
Or until I use it again, of course, but yeah. I'm like, this will help you be a little bit more sneaky.
All right.
I think what we do is we get in, we schmooze the guard, we schmooze the Baron, we find out where the dock is, and we sabotage the dock. Because I like Darius's carriage idea. I know how to steer me a carriage. And I think that we sabotage their chance of shipping it on down the river. And I think we get them unawares somewhere on the little inlet.
Yeah, even if we can like get ourselves to be, I kind of like ourselves being the guards for the carriage or the boat. Like they trust us to do the escorting, or at least part of it.
This sounds like an excellent plan. We could split up into teams, and some of us could try and get in contact with this Tiddlywinks fellow. We could possibly use the chef/guard plan to get in good with the caravan, and then try and make sure that we can have this Tiddlywinks fellow help us possibly do some kind of like a train robbing, but instead of a train, we have a barge, and we can
What's a
kind of just turn a
train?
blind eye and
What's a
let that happen.
train?
I do like that idea, but what's a train?
Like when you have a dress and then there's that long flowing part in the back.
I thought it was one of them hot air balloons.
Yeah. There's some crazy stuff out in this world.
You're telling me, man. Giant rats ate my paw.
What? That's crazy. I was born in the eye of a tornado.
Giant rats. I'm not sure those exist actually.
Oh, they do. I've served them in every kingdom.
You know,
in Anakra.
I'm not surprised you do, Ash. I like your style. Nothing is uncookable.
What's the best preparation for giant rat?
Oh, medium rare. Over a bed of rice, you let the juices seep to the bottom, and it is just absolutely delectable.
What about the disease?
The disease is what gives it the tinge.
Ash is a man of steel.
If it doesn't bite back, how am I gonna bite it?
Glorious.
That's our heist
understand.
catchphrase. If it doesn't bite back, how am I gonna bite it? I wanna gather up the boys, and I wanna try and create a lie
All
that
right.
we already stole the vault's treasure, and that we're storing it in the woods outside of the castle area. And I want to try and hire some town criers and pay off townspeople to talk and try and get Tiddlywinks to get interested in stealing it.
All right. You're gonna spend a couple of gold, and you're gonna roll a.
Only if the boys want to, though. I think we hire Tiddlywinks.
I like getting Tiddlywinks on our side. I think, I already know what Chonk looks like and how he talks. I feel like I could go up and kind of, like help ingratiate ourselves with him, and I might have to do a little bit of deceiving and then drop my form. But
Something tells me he's not gonna like it when we find out we melted his secret servant's mind.
we won't
What
let
do
him
you
know
guys
that we
do
just-
with Chonk, by the way? Because you just.
We're gonna take him out.
Oh,
we're
his
gonna take him
body's
out
still
of the
there, isn't it?
tavern, and we're gonna bury him.
Or we
I
could
was gonna
serve
leave
him.
He's
We
not
could
dead.
serve the goblin.
He's just unconscious.
Oh yeah, I might cast Spare the Dying on him.
Yeah, he didn't even
wouldn't
lose his
die.
hit points. He just lost consciousness because his brain could no longer fathom what was happening.
But we're gonna take him out of the tavern, and we're gonna bury him.
Bury him anyway.
Not my first time. All right.
Get two
I
coffins
think we devise.
ready.
I think we devise a plan. It's like that meme, call an ambulance, but not for me. I think we should devise a plan.
All right.
On Chunk, and then I think we gotta pull a little gold and try and get Tiddlywinks.
All right, run me through this plan right now. Phase 1 of the plan is to get Tiddlywinks to join you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
What's
If not join us, at least get information, because I bet he's been trying to hit the Baron for years.
Yep. What is phase 2?
That's when I do cook stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Even without Tiddlywinks, we definitely do the cook stuff. We get you to ingratiate ourselves with the captain of the guard at the least.
Hash comes in, he announces himself, he makes his presence known. They cannot refuse him. Of course, they would have to have the Elven Queen taste his finest recipe.
All right, phase 2. Introduce Hash as the Elven Queen Delsrana's personal chef. What's phase 3?
And quick question before phase 3. This Tiddlywinks, is he known as like a Robin Hood character, or is he like a no, all money for me kind of guy?
He mostly keeps it to himself.
Okay.
Sort of like
Because
a,
I'm thinking if we can, whether we ally with him or not, if in phase 1 we can convince him to hit this train, in phase 2 we get ourselves smooshy with the Duke to get ourselves set to be as a part of this caravan. In phase 3, we can either prep it to be stolen by him and then we take it from him afterwards, or if he hits it during the confusion while he's attacking, if we can offload the treasure, then we're pretty golden from there. Use him as a distraction.
What if we
that idea.
we go on good conscience to the Baron and tell him that we know where Twiddlywinks is and he's gonna hit his prize, and we set Twiddlywinks up.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
No, here's what we could do. We set Tiddlywinks up, and then we have 2 caravans, one without treasure, one with treasure. We inform the Baron that we know which one is going to be the actual payload, which one is the phony. We have Tiddlywinks hit the phony, and then we take the other one, and we're supposed to go actually to the drop point with it, but we just take the dang thing. So we make sure that both parties think that, oh, they're hitting the right one, but really all the while we're offloading the treasure and slipping it away without anyone being the wiser.
We'll be the guards for the right one.
Exactly.
Okay, do I understand this? Phase 1, convince Tiddlywinks to hit the treasure. To try to pull his own heist. Phase 2, introduce Hash as Queen Delsrana's personal chef. Ingratiating yourself in with Baron. Phase 3, tip off the Baron that there is a threat to the treasure. And by convincing him of that threat, what are you looking to convince? Like, hey, because there's this threat, you need to do X, Y, or Z.
Yeah, that we can like have like a separate payload to capture Tiddlywinks.
Like a detour.
We'll take care of the.
All right.
Could we lie and say that we were sent from the Queen City to protect Hash? So
I feel like with the information we have, that wouldn't be very possible because people don't come out of Nenry.
That's true.
So,
But
like,
If you were all
being the
disguised
chef
as
is a pretty.
elves.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
I can only
these
disguise
guns ain't
myself.
Alright, I think phase 4 is as we're schmoozing,
Mhm.
we need to destroy the docks and set up Tiddlywinks so that he doesn't use barges, he uses carriages.
All right, is that before? Are you going to tell the Baron there's a threat and then hit the docks, or hit the docks and then tell the Baron there's a threat?
I think we should hit the docks, frame Tiddlywinks, then tell the Baron
Yeah.
after.
So hit the docks and
Hash
Prim
has
Tiddlywinks
smoothed
is
him.
3. Right, that would be before we tell the Baron. So that'd be phase 3 is hit the docks.
Yeah, then phase 4 is tell the Baron.
Yeah.
Then phase 5 is betray Tiddlywinks and get the treasure ourselves. Oh, I just realized I tell the boys that the madam was so hurried out we don't know where to drop off the treasure for her.
Well, you know, I'm sure she'll be able to find us. She found us here and
Her parameters
definitely would
are
like to.
make sure the treasure gets used to help the good starving people,
Yeah,
and
true.
get me a keepsake of some kind.
Y'all hear that voice of God? It just told us what to do.
Hold on, there's a track here called Amazing Plan. Let me see what this is like.
Play it, yeah. Do I have my music enabled?
All right, I've been
It's
playing.
to,
I've been playing some music. All right, let's do Amazing
through the
Plan. Let's see what
jukebox.
this is like. Oh yeah!
Oh yeah, boy!
Banger alert!
Yes.
Oh,
That's what Hash was playing on
that's
the
what I was
piano.
playing. I love this. This is a banger.
I have
good.
a plan of sorts to kind of go along what we're saying. So if we have stage 1, tip off Tiddlywinks. Stage 2, ingratiate ourselves with the barony. Stage 3, like we were saying, we can either damage the docks, or if we can convince them, hey, Tiddlywinks is going to hit the barge, instead of sending the treasure in the barge, send a caravan out now. That way they won't know that it's going. And we'll guard the caravan for you. And then we just make sure that we, during this time, fabricate a copy and then do the switch out. So that way the barge isn't even a part of it. He goes, yeah, if Tiddlywinks knows we're going by barge, we'll just leave earlier in a caravan because it takes a bit longer. But then we make a replicate carriage so we can do the switcheroo and no one's the wiser.
Yes. I like it. I
Okay,
like it.
So you don't destroy the barge. You just tell him that there's a real threat, and convince him to send wagons instead.
Or we could also, I mean, if it turns out he doesn't believe us, we could just destroy the barge. That way he has to go by caravan either way.
So it's a backup plan.
Yeah, we got a
Yeah,
backup
that's
plan.
backup
Exactly. I mean, because Darius and barges, we have a really bad relationship with fire, so I really kind of want to avoid that if possible.
All right, and then
I
phase
can help you
5.
float above it.
Phase 5 is just
Oh, yeah.
yoink the treasure and get out of there.
All right. So let me
That
get
sounds
this
like
right.
actually a pretty airtight plan.
All right. So as part of the prep phase, you're gonna build. You need to figure out what sort of wagons he has and build an exact replica.
We can sneak into the town to figure out what those carriages look like.
Okay, give me 1
And
second.
we can find out about that during ingratiating ourselves with the duchy, because she, I'm assuming, would know. Or if we get in well with him, we would be able to find that out.
Gotta grab something.
Yep. Oh, I'm going to the bathroom quick as well. Be right
Yeah.
back.
No, now's a good time to take
While you're
a
doing that.
couple of minutes.
Well, I will say, even though we seemingly haven't accomplished anything, I'm having so much fun.
Dude, I'm glad. Like,
This is great.
there is always a tension between accomplishing stuff and just like having fun around the table, but as long as everyone's enjoying themselves, that's the entire point of it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is great.
I think some of the chat were crying. They were laughing so hard at the chalk debauchery.
All right, let me use the bathroom too. Right back.
I've been typing out the plan. I'm gonna hit enter on the plan as I understand it. So
Okay.
phase 1. Tell Tiddlywinks about the treasure shipment. Now
By barge.
I will also tell you, Chonk heard all of that. Chonk heard about the treasure shipment.
Yes. On the barge.
Correct. It could be as easy as letting him go.
Perfect.
Make sure Tiddlywinks knows about the barge. Introduce Hash as the Elven Queen Delsrana's personal chef. Warn the Baron about Tiddlywinks' attempted heist, and talk him into sending a wagon train instead. Then swap out the wagons, the fake wagon with the real wagon, stealing the treasure. Vanish into the woods. Mission accomplished.
That sounds pretty straightforward. Yeah.
All right,
With the backup in phase 3 to be sabotaged if he doesn't go with the plan.
Yeah. Anytime a complication comes up in the plan, you can always, quickly make a new plan. That's totally
Absolutely.
fine.
Perfect.
Oh, Lord. Okay, I think we have a plan. So now we're going to move into the part where you start, setting everything up. So...
See, the thing is, what we've learned here is some plans, either take careful planning and a lot of, excellent backdrops and execution to make it happen, and some plans you interrogate a goblin until it all just kind of falls into place.
Yeah. That it's it works.
Then you lie and have no honor. It's just
So
that easy.
I do kind of like the idea of reviving, bringing Tiddlywinks back up to snuff and having him scamper off to divulge things with Tiddlywinks. That way, Tiddlywinks doesn't know what we look like. Even though, Chonk may or may not remember.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking, on Disguise Self, can I change what I look like while it's active? Or is it stuck for the whole time?
First off, we are now officially entering the setup phase of the heist. Meaning you have a plan, and I'm going to ask each of you what you're doing to prepare for the heist, to get ready. Then, also, who's going to be the face of your heist?
Hash. I
No,
thought.
it's Hash.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
Hash.
after each of you has contributed to the planning phase, Hash is going to make a skill check, whatever it is, that's going to start things out. So, now that I've announced that, we're going to look up the Disguise Self spell.
It doesn't say anything about it staying. Oh, it says until the spell ends. So I think it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
So
I have 2 inspiration, Joe, but it won't let me add the 2 inspiration to the sheet.
That's fine. We'll all
It
know
just
in our
gives me a-
hearts.
Yeah, for staying hydrated.
Mhm.
Bless up.
Okay. This you've agreed upon your plan. Each of you can now do, and you have control of Chonk as well as your other resources. Each of you can now take one action, and this can be not an in-game. This spell takes one action to cast, but you can do one thing to prep the plan. So, and if you succeed on this skill check, you will get inspiration, and you can cash in inspiration from any source during the heist to do a flashback. Everyone understand that?
Yep. So we can make something not go our way potentially potentially go our way.
Right. So if I say, oh, if you botch a roll and you stumble into a room and like it's full of guards and they all look at you, you cannot flash back that there actually are no guards because that's already part of the story. But you can flash back, like if I say they're all awake, can't change that. You can flash back that earlier Hash put something in their food, so now they're all like super loopy and sleepy. Or you can say I paid them off earlier, and so I give them the secret handshake and they like, let me through. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Perfect.
So each of you gets to do one thing to prep for the heist. Bradley, you were talking about disguise self. Do you have something you want to do first?
Yeah, so I would like to change my disguise self to look like just like a friendly humanoid, super like amicable, and then I'd like to kind of wait until the rest of my party's gone out of the tavern type of thing, and then I'd like to rouse Chunk from his unconsciousness, kind of bring him back up to consciousness, and I'll be up to him like, oh man, I don't know what happened to you, but I just saw you sitting down here. You didn't look too fit. Seems like I think there's some people they kind of took off laughing about some goblin, but I don't know what it was. But you doing okay? And I'll try to get him on his way to go tell Tiddlywinks what's up.
Okay, roll a deception check. 21. You manage as Chonk awakens. Smoke bomb, smoke bomb, smoke bomb. You guide his poor, sensitive mind, shaping it with your careful words and sending him off like a plague ship to the dreaded robber Tiddlywinks. You earn inspiration, because that was a success. All right, you've done your part. Who's up next for the prep phase of the heist?
Wouldn't it be Darius, since we're going in order?
We can do that. Darius, what are you doing to prepare for the heist? He might be AFK or muted.
No.
Oh,
I'm here.
you.
I was put on the spot when I wasn't expecting it.
Totally fine.
If our glorious gunslinger or our scintillating shaft have anything that they know they would want to do to prep, please feel free to step in
I
as
can
I
go.
get my bearings. Perfect.
All right,
So
Collins.
I think that I want to go around town and repurpose things people have to make a shiny pile of loot for phase 1, which is tip off the townspeople, but also steal from them to trick Tiddlywinks to come steal the treasure in the woods.
Okay, so you're basically
That way we can meet him.
You're gonna repurpose junk around the town to make a fake treasure.
Not junk per se, but like maybe in the late of night, a barrel full of food happens to go missing, or tools, valuables people leave out.
All right.
And I want to all build it up for the greater good of getting Tiddlywinks to trust us.
Okay, and so how is getting all this stuff gonna have him trust you? Is it like an offering to him to tell him about the treasure?
Yes.
Okay.
I said I want to tell him that I've been trying to hit the castle, but I'm nowhere close. I want to pipe him up. Like, I'm nowhere close to Tiddlywinks. Like, he's a legend among men. Like, I'm just a humble, I steal gold from markets, not king's treasures.
All right. Then I'm going to have you roll a perception or investigation check to search the town for the right treasures, unless you have something else in mind.
We're going to go with perception, because I have +6.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
21. All right. You are able to scrape together little things here and there, tools, some shiny baubles and stuff, and you make a convincing... It's enough of a stash that you come across as an actual thief. And you are able to pass that along to Tiddlywinks to build him up and convince him to make that attack. You gain inspiration. Yes, I already know you have it twice. You now have it 3 times.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't failing shit.
So we can use our normal inspirations. That is included in this.
Yeah. Any inspiration
Okay.
you accumulate, and I'm letting you accumulate more because, again, the idea is you're going to spend it during the heist if things go wrong.
Right. Okay.
All
I
right.
didn't know if that was separate or the same. Got it.
For the prep phase, we are down to Darius and Hash. If either of you have something that you could do, you're ready to do for the prep phase of the heist, you are good to go.
Well, Hash was thinking maybe Hash could sharpen his knives and teach himself maybe a knife trick to not only cut the chops and the recipes dishes a little better, but maybe when I introduce myself, show off a little flair, a little flick of the wrist, so to speak.
Something you picked up in the kitchens of the elven city of Nenri. Something signature to their style. I like it. Why don't you make an attack roll with one of your melee weapons? And we'll treat that as this fancy knife trick, unless there's another skill or ability you think applies here.
Oh, I don't know. So it would be in this like left column, I guess?
Yeah.
Acrobatics?
I would allow acrobatics. If you have a nice high number on that,
I see a 7.
Yeah,
which
that's
is my
good.
highest.
That's good.
So I'm gonna click acrobatics.
Mhm.
Hash is gonna do it.
All right, so you still had a bit of a hangover from drinking out of your mind.
Oh no.
So you haven't quite. Maybe you can pull this trick during the heist, but your practice hasn't really borne fruit so far. So unfortunately,
I'll get it on the spot. I'm better under pressure.
Exactly. Improvisation will work better for you. Darius, when you're ready, it's your turn.
Well, I had a different plan, but actually, after seeing Hash, I myself, as being a master thrower, am a expert at performing and doing tricks with knives.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if I can offer him some assistance and give him some guidance to kind of show him a bit of what I know to get him help in mastering this trick that he's trying to accomplish.
Because this is literally your thing. Knife
This is
throwing and
literally my
knife
thing.
juggling is literally your thing.
Oh,
Exactly.
How grand.
Okay. What kind of check do you want to make to teach him the trick he's trying to master?
So, as part of my Master Thrower subclass, I have the Deceptive Showman, where if I make a charisma performance check that involves thrown weapons, then I have expertise with the roll. So I was going to do that, if that's cool.
Absolutely. Roll to teach the fancy elven knife trick.
Perfect. So here, what I'm going to do is just very temporarily, I'm just going to turn on expertise on my performance.
Go ahead.
Actually, that's probably a good idea to do generally, because I'm not ever going to really perform without that.
Yeah, like what else are you going to... Unless you try to play the piano.
Exactly. When is that ever going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So where are you, performance? There we go. Oh, it's not really showing it. There we go. That's right. Okay, perfect. And bada bing, bada... Is that doing it right? That should be 6. Yeah, 7, 8. Perfect. Bada bing, bada boom.
Okay.
There we are.
After seeing you attempting the knife trick, describe the knife trick, Darius.
So seeing that the Hash prefers using his cutlery, I take out not a full-blown dagger, but a couple of my throwing darts, and I show him this little trick that I've done in many taverns and towns that I've come across, where kind of like with a coin, you start off by moving the knife across your digits one by one, almost like you would a coin, and you do this little twirl across your forearm before you end up using it's kind of like if you've ever seen those hula tricks, people spin hulas around their bodies, but instead you spinning knives around your forearms, throwing them into the air and then catching them in the offhand, kind of a mixture of like a hula juggle but with a knife on your forearm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's dangerous. I love it.
And I'm not a master chef myself, but I'm used to to sticking the pointy in bad things. So I kind of show him how he can apply this towards his cookery as well, where he can combine this little trick but also be cutting up his dishes while he does it.
Excellent. All right, Darius, you have inspiration for the heist.
Could I give mine to Hash since I'm teaching him the trick?
Absolutely. Hash, you now have inspiration for the heist.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm going to spend mine making sure he's ready with that check.
Also, Hash,
Perfect.
turn off disadvantage. You had one hungover roll, but now you're in the clear.
I'm feeling better.
Exactly. So, when you're ready, we can begin. Hash, it'll be on you. And
rest at night at all?
what was that?
Oh, so what am I doing?
You can take a long rest. You can get all your spells and abilities back.
Good. I went through everything.
So, what we're gonna do? We're gonna start in the middle of the heist. I'm going to have you roll an unmodified wisdom check.
Okay. How do I do that?
You're going to click on the left-hand side. Let's see.
Can I just click the wisdom?
Yep, just click wisdom. Oh!
Whew.
Oh!
Very nice.
That's good.
Things are going well.
Things are going-
All right. Now, this is a well-secured target, so you get -2 on that, so your result is 17. But phase 1 is going as expected. So, Hash, tell me how you talked your way in to the castle as Queen Delsrana's personal chef. And what are the rest of you doing during this time? Start with Hash, and then the rest of you fill me in.
Well, of course,
phase
when
2, right?
Phase 2?
We're on phase 2, right?
Yeah, but I want to hear
Cool,
how
okay.
phase 1 went, because we just found out it went
Oh,
exactly
got it.
according to plan. Tell me about it.
Oh, I convinced Tiddlywinks?
Oh yeah, that was phase 1, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tiddlywinks, the rumor is out that he is aware of this treasure's movement, and he's got Chunk running through the reeds and the rivers, and he's preparing to make his most daring heist yet. That part has gone flawlessly. Now we are.
To everybody, be like,
I forgot.
yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
woke up Chonk and made myself look like a friendly person and convinced him to go tell Tiddlywinks that the heist is gonna happen. Just like loving the fact that it all happened.
All right. So now we move on to phase 2, which is Hash. You're gonna talk your way in.
Well, of course. Wait, should I actually do it?
You can do it in character if you want. You can just describe how your character does it. Either way is fine.
Okay, well, Hash comes in, of course, and she sees my wonderful biceps, but she can't help but notice across each arm 6 large platters of some of the best beasts cooked fresh from the iron grill of the Tornland. And I bring it in, and she just absolutely cannot resist the smells, the perfumes, the rich spices. And right there, she says, Hash Brawn Talon. I said, yes, that is I. And that's all we needed to say, because she knew who I was from the smell of the meals. And that's how I got it.
Nope. They buy your story, and the Baron is intrigued. He, when you meet him for the first time, you're ushered into his presence, and he's wearing fine elven robes. They don't quite fit for him. He hasn't, they're a little bit short around his ankles, and the sleeves aren't exactly right. And none of you are elves, right? None of you are elves or even elvish.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
All you know is he looks a little bit odd. But he is overjoyed to have such a fine, upstanding person inside of, a true representative of the superiority of the elven way of life. Please come in, and you're invited into his presence. Moving on to phase 3. You are able to insinuate yourself in, and you are to serve a meal this very night. What are the rest of you doing?
Just to confirm, this is flavor, right? We're not actually assisting with this role. We're just kind of adding what we're doing as part of the heist,
For
right?
the time being. I'll tell you when someone needs to make a roll.
I
Perfect.
want
We still
to try...
all on phase 2, or are we all on phase 3?
Phase 2 is going well. What are you all doing during phase 2?
During phase 2, copy.
Is it-
Darius. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I want to either have to use an inspiration to flashback this, but I want this all to happen at night because I want to try and sneak around the docks, or not the docks, but I want to try and find a way if I can start scoping out the docks and like try and identify what type of barges I'm looking for, or the carriages if they're back there that we gotta replicate.
All right, we're gonna go in reverse order since Hash is the face. So we're gonna go with Collins. Collins, I want you to roll a stealth check. You don't need to spend inspiration to do a make it nighttime because you have some time. But I need you.
I was going to do a similar thing. Can I go with and cast Pass Without a Trace to aid our
My favorite spell
Stealth.
of all time. Such a great excellent spell. Yeah.
It's a great spell for
Um,
the players. That's totally fair.
How many of you are together? Darius, are you part of this party or do you have your own plan? I think he needs a moment because he's on mute. Okay, Collins and Whelm, both of you roll stealth checks, and you get a +10. We'll just add it in mentally.
Yeah, I'm good.
Natural 20.
You are like the breeze themselves.
Hey, you fits. I'm an air
Hang on.
class.
Mm.
Let me stealth up really quick,
Yeah,
boys.
activate stealth mode.
Yeah, stealth. Okay, stealth activated. All crime is now legal. I can't be traced back to me. We're good to go.
Okay, so you
I'm
got
stealth up.
a 36 and a 28 respectively. You effortlessly penetrate the Baron's defenses, jumping from parapet to parapet along the castle, scaling and climbing walls. You were able to bypass every single patrol. Both of you roll perception checks.
Dang.
Excellent. So, the Baron's wagons are kept up in the courtyard, which is above the river level. They're sort of like the ground level, the river level below, and then a couple of tower levels. The Baron's wagons are kept at the ground level. They're totally separate from the docks.
I'll take a mental note and I'll whisper to Collins. You're pretty good at drawing, right? You want to kind of sketch out those cards right there, kind of get a good idea of how to replicate it ourselves.
Yeah, let me. Alright, I lean back and Asura like, do you have any of that fancy magic to increase my accuracy? I'm a little dulled.
I can give you a little
I'm
bit.
a little discouraged, if you know what I mean. My last stick figure didn't turn out so well.
I'll give him slap a little guidance on him.
All right, you get plus 1d4. So go ahead and roll an intelligence check and add 1d4 to it. Roll 1d4. 9! Well, here's the thing, Collins. Your sketch isn't great, but you also notice these wagons are not meant for transporting heavy cargo, or, well, heavy cargo, sure, but they're not like armored carriages of any kind. They're just wagons. They've got some security, but not a whole lot, which means the Baron might be reluctant to use these to send his priceless treasures.
Do I spot anything else that the Baron would be interested in using other than barges?
The barges and the wagons, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head unless one of you has an idea.
Balloons is there?
There's no balloons.
Hot air balloons. Locomotives.
That's a negative, Ghost Rider.
Joe,
See, this
do
kind
I
of-
see?
This almost works out better though, because if you're going to be still keeping everyone thinking that the treasure's in the barge, but you're going to be sending a red herring, then you don't want to have a really decked out, fancy looking carriage. You want to just send a small caravan of goods, just a really basic carriage that's hiding an amazing payload, which is also easy to replicate. So that's not going to be difficult for us, especially if we can sell him on that.
Okay.
And what better
Joe.
way to sell him on it is if we blow up his docks.
Yes, Collins? Excuse me.
I get a horrible feeling that the Baron has been shipping people downriver to the Queen as
Mhm.
offerings because they never come out. And I want to look. I lean over to Asuro. I'm like, I think this guy's shipping people, and I want to do another perception check to see if like any, hostage taking, slavery binds, anything that would identify that he's transferring people as cargo.
Roll it.
Can I use my inspiration?
Yes, you can. That gives you a re-roll and you take the better of the two. 15.
Hey.
The dungeons are right there, and those docks get a lot of work,
Yeah.
and sometimes that work is at night. You don't feel good about this. You think there might be a case here.
I think you might be right, man.
I point out to the things I see, and I tell Suro, maybe this goes beyond a simple heist.
Yeah, this guy seems like a super sleazebag.
What's Darius been up to?
We'll have to report back to the rest of the group and see how we want to keep going with this. Definitely want to get the money back to the people, though.
So, question here, mate. This is all happening at the exact same time. We can't interact, or can I?
You can
wait until
interact.
we
This
hear
is
back
sort of, again, imagine this like a movie, right? So you can
That's
enter
kind
the
of what I'm
scene.
thinking.
Yeah, this is a cinematic, but it's an interactive.
Ash is busy cooking for the wait, I don't know what
You're cooking for
he's
the
busy
Baron.
cooking.
You're cooking for
Baron,
the Baron, who
Baron.
thinks you're the Queen's personal chef.
Yes.
So-
I'm cooking him some great stuff.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to click on your character sheet, left-hand side near the bottom, cooks utensils.
Cooks utensils. Yes, I see it.
Yeah. So I want you to click that. It's
Okay.
It's
And
gonna
now
ask
it says it says input value attribute.
Right. So what ability score sort of guides your cooking? I would say it's probably wisdom, unless you have an argument for something else.
I think it's Hash's technique. It's the dexterity.
I'll buy
It's
that.
how you cook it.
It's
how you
all
chop
in the wrist.
Look at that! Look at that!
It's you know what, like the people flipping the walks, getting the veggies and stuff.
Yeah, and if you don't get that move
That's what I'm doing
just
right now.
it's
the
not
Baron's like
cooked
next
evenly.
to me, and I'm just like, "You're gonna love this."
Dude, Hash is a sex icon for cooking.
For cooking.
Roll it with
He's
dexterity.
a cooking rock star.
I hit submit.
26.
Look at that! Look at that! Wrist.
Yeah.
Look at that! Look
Look
at
at
that!
that! Look at that!
This is
He's
this
dancing
is-
while he's doing it.
Everyone
Very
buys it. This cuisine is so good. It's like nothing they've ever tasted. Clearly, this is what the great mages of the Alfar consume down in Nenri. You've got them eating all out of your hand, literally, if that's part of your routine. But are you doing anything with that? Or are you just keeping them all distracted, like building up goodwill?
I'm keeping everyone. Hash is keeping everyone entertained, and everyone's focused on Hash.
Okay. Back
So,
to
as
Darius.
part of-
Go.
Yeah, as part of this, I'd like to kind of like we did before. I want to have like a two-parter with this if possible.
Mhm.
What I'd like to do, kind of to jump on what Collins was doing by setting up, oh gosh, Tiddlywink,
Tiddlywinks,
Steve,
Tiddlywink,
the notorious thief.
and then Hash, kind of really getting us in good with the Baron and their associates. What I'd like to do is go downriver a bit and set up some pretty not obvious, but something that would be pretty easily discoverable, either lookouts or traps of some kind. Just something really. I'm not. This is not a worthwhile plan for the future. This is just a setup. What I want to do is try and disguise it to set it up to make it look like they're ready to jump the barge, and then I'd like to head back to the party, kind of jumping in on Hash already beefing everybody up, and using Darius and his nobility wiles to get the Baron and let him know, like, hey, we've been kind of coaxing the place out, making sure that we can safeguard, what's happening here. We found something I think you want to hear about, and then let him know about the traps that have been set by the rogue, and that we may want to find an alternate way of transporting these goods.
Okay. As you it's great. It's easy to make your way into this fantastic feast going on, and all of Hash's compatriots and his loyal party that's with him as part of this. They're all welcome at the table, and you start talking about these traps, and.
Well, and first, getting friendly with them, not just opening up with, "Hey, man, there's some traps down by the river."
For sure.
Schmoozing him first, and then moving the conversation to, "Hey, so by the way."
Okay, roll a deception check.
Roger that.
Copy that.
And I am going to use one of my luck points for the day
There you go.
in order to make sure that this doesn't stink like hot mess. Hopefully. Nope, it stinks like hot mess.
Okay. So the bad news is, here's the problem. The captain of the guard, Hugo, he's the one who's supposed to be taking you seriously. But he is just digging into this food, this decadent deliciousness. Like, this is such a rare opportunity. He is so lost in the sauce that he's not even paying attention. He's sort of, that That sounds like a problem, but I'm sure it's. Oh my god! This is amazing.
He's
Completely
blown out of control and
he's
he's lost in the sauce.
Fooling out of control. You're not getting through to him.
What I'd like to do, again, I don't have any kind of inspiration to kick back anything, but what I do have is chat
unique
granted
set
me
of
some
skills.
treasure, which was this maple syrup.
Yes.
I'm wondering if I can kind of like almost like a smelling salt, if I can try and tantalize him away from this amazingly powerful saucy dish that was presented to him, just to help get his attention, just to kind of pull him away from that just for a moment, and then
You're gonna lure him away with the sweet forbidden smell of Canadian gold.
Canadian gold,
Yes.
exactly, that brown goodness.
Okay,
He's
roll,
lost in the sauce.
roll a persuasion check.
Oh baby, give me that sweet natural one. Are you kidding?
Hell yeah.
Okay, I got chat. I need disadvantage again. I can't roll without disadvantage. We need to get that back in here.
Get disadvantage.
Matt, is that gonna ride?
Yeah, that's gonna ride.
That's gonna ride. Okay.
Well, are these gonna be day by day? By the way, the phases.
The phases are not day by day. This whole scene is gonna be a day of.
You know what? Let's. I get these back on a day. I'll use it. What else am I gonna do?
Okay.
Let's. Come on, baby. Yeah, there we go.
Second luck point down, one to go.
What happens is that as I'm kind of showing him this, I actually smear about half of it like all over him as I'm trying to present him with him. He's like, I taking it back in a gasp for a moment.
It's in my beard.
However, seeing that Darius himself is a rather, upstart and very comely looking noble, he kind of just licks his thumb and just wipes a bit of it off, gives him a bit of those roguish, charming eyes, and goes, "Oh, don't worry, sir. This is all part of the plan. Come here, let me wash you off for a moment." And Darius is going to lay on a bit of that noble charm to kind of let him know, like, "Hey, man, maybe we can, maybe we can do a little something here."
There are many decadent pleasures
Are we
in this world.
convincing him or seducing him?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Darius he's making it up to him, and he'd like to show him, along with his proposal, he has some information that would benefit both of them greatly.
Show him that information.
You know what I mean?
Joe.
Yes.
Are we outside the castle during this?
You
Or
can
are we
move
in the
because this is again sort of a cinematic narrative environment. You can enter the castle, exit the castle. There may be complications along the way, but just tell me what you want to do.
Okay, because the captain initially resisted our charm to tell him the plan. I want to use one of my inspiration points to do the
flashback?
what's it called? The flashback.
Okay.
I want us to decorate the antique goat and make it look like one of the treasures that might have been in his vault. And then I want to say we can say we caught Tiddlywinks in the act the first time, and that's how we know that he's en route outside of the destruction plan. And we wanted to return this to the Baron.
Oh, okay.
And show him why the barge is a bad idea. He already knows about it.
We say we caught Tiddlywinks. Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately, he got away, but we were able to recover this treasure.
And I decorate it with some of the baubles I stole from the townspeople.
Ah,
Perfect.
yes.
All
Glorious.
according to plan.
It's a shiny, anatomically correct wooden goat.
You really shine it up.
Remember that anatomically correct wooden goat you bought?
The one that's a unique and beautiful treasure that the elves would treasure forever.
We need to steal it back and give it to the Baroness when we win.
That's the wooden horn with the Baroness.
That's
very
beautiful. It's so obvious. Oh, that's perfect because we're showing it to him like it's a very obvious thing that's already been taken once.
Okay.
Oh my god, can we say that the anatomically correct bobbled up wooden goat is actually like a Trojan horse style? Like you open the goat up and there's actually a really nice bobble inside, and it's not it's not what's on the outside that counts, but what's on the inside, and that's why it's so glorious and wonderful.
It's the dirty rag from Chong.
All right.
But that dirty rag was torn off. It's actually not a dirty rag. It is torn from the great mantle of Aisling of the Witch of the Waste. And it was once part of an epic, glorious tapestry, and this is all that's been recovered. And it's a prized elven artifact, and that's why he covers it so.
Yes.
Okay.
That can be what it is, and if we fail.
If somebody nails that deception roll, that's enough to convince the Baron of the threat.
Do we all roll it?
Who wants to take point on that?
Who's got the best deception?
I have 0.
I'm pretty good with the deception and the persuasion and stuff, but if we want somebody else to take point, I don't mind either backing them up or hanging back on this one.
What's your mod?
+5.
Yeah, I'm a +3 on deception, so.
Could we
Decent, but
have
not great.
Asuro use his thaumaturge to kind of intoxicate the guard and like lower his perception or defense against the deception check? Like, you know, maybe he makes the bauble look extra shiny or enhances the smell of the maple syrup.
I could cause like the light behind the guard to kind of flicker to glint off the bauble a little bit shinier to make it kind of like glint even extra shiny. I could do that.
Behold, the goat of Glorfindel.
It just like as he does it, as we present it, the candle like flares up with light around us and makes it shine extra.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just do a little like,
Okay.
let's do that.
Because of that, I'm going to grant advantage on this deception check. Go for it, Darius.
All right. Gods be with me. Yes!
Yeah.
Natural 20! Oh my god.
All right. You've thrown the Captain Hugo into a fit, and he's eager to bring this very important news to his boss, who will surely want to hear about it immediately, and, you know, it'll come from me, and that's very important. So, of course, yes, let me go talk to the Baron, yes. So, he runs off and alerts the Baron. The Baron is now, you have entered the next phase of your plan. The Baron is aware of the hit. You need to talk him into using a caravan instead. The whole party can contribute to this. You just got to tell me how. Hash! Aside from serving up an absolutely bomb-ass meal, is there any other way you can help convince him to use wagons instead of boats?
Anything I can do?
Didn't you hear about some terrible boat accidents that happened across the endless ocean when you arrived?
That's true. Yes. All the ports that I've been to sell my dishes, they have told me a ton of issues with the barges. I mean, just some of them aren't built correctly, and some of them they smell. They just so smelly. I don't trust them.
Can I jump in and help Hash with this? Give him some kind of use mine as like a jumping on top of his?
Yeah, the two of you can work together on this.
I'd like to deceive, adding along with his information about the faulty of the barges, that it seems that there's been issues, there's been tales that Lee Bon has been angered. The waters are tumultuous, and there's been issues. It seems that someone has angered the great god of water, and right now it's a bad time of year. The stars aren't aligned. You need to wait. Either you got to delay the whole thing for at least a few more weeks, or I mean, there's always other options. You know, barges aren't the only way to transport things.
All right, so Darius, Matt, you may not be aware of this. We've been doing a new thing in Anakra. I need you to roll 1d100.
Excuse me?
I need you to roll 1d100.
Oh no.
Okay, but you didn't tell me any of that before this started.
Yeah, and that makes it better content. Roll 1d100. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. 31. That means
What does that mean, though? What does that
Well,
mean?
he spoke the name of a sovereign out loud. Sometimes they hear you.
It's true.
Levon is having a bad week and randomly. All right, so Hash, just take a look at your character sheet on the core page and see if you've got any useful skills we could include in this. You know what? Why don't you roll persuasion? Darius roll deception. The two of you together are going to try to work on talking him into this.
Glorious.
All right. I'm
Let's
gonna
do
roll
this.
persuasion.
Yes. 16 and a natural 1.
Hold on, I have one more luck point. I'm burning it. I can't let this
Okay, burn your last luck point and roll again.
stand.
23.
Yeah.
Woo.
Excellent.
So as I speak aloud the name that should not be spoken lightly, and he knows how gravely this information is. I would not normally bring this about if it wasn't of dire straits and how I really believe this is going to make or break this whole scenario.
All right. I want to check in on Collins and on Whelm.
And we're trying to convince the Baron that someone's hitting his treasure, right?
Well, you've already convinced him someone's hitting his treasure. You're trying to talk him into using wagons.
And so Darius is lying about a sea god.
Mm-hmm.
Nash is saying that ships have been crashing recently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Let me take a look at my character sheet.
Hash, did you have something you were going to say?
well, I was gonna say, I know how much the Baron loves Hash's dishes, and maybe he uses wagons. Some more dishes come his way. He might have a subscription, a broad and talent subscription, and only dishes,
Only chefs.
and only chefs. Does he want Hash's only chefs? I will give him the discount code.
Okay, then roll another fancy meal check with your chef's tools using dexterity.
But first, we gotta talk about today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends.
So do I? The most popular
Mobile gaming app.
The most popular mobile gaming app of 2020. So do I click cook's utensils or
Yeah,
just
click
dexterity?
Cook's Utensils. It's going to prompt you, and you're going to hit, hashtag add.
And dexterity. All right. Boom.
All right. It's definitely. I mean, your meals are definitely good. He does like the idea of keeping you around. Just it seems like such a security risk, though. This is where Asuro or Collins can come in if you want to push him over the edge.
Joe, where is his wife?
His wife? Oh, she's at the table, trying very hard not to look at any of you.
I assume there's like a big table in front, right? And then we're standing briefly in front of the table.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to do like a little whistle noise towards her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't see me draw a shitty stick figure, did she?
She did not.
Okay, in her mind, I pull it up, and I do like a little gesture, like to her, and I point at the paper, and I do that thing with like my thumb on my neck, and I want to try and see if I can intimidate her to help. Because I assume she's overhearing all this shit Nash is saying, right?
Yeah.
Or Hash is saying. Yeah, I want her to kind of lean in on the
or
wagon
I will
pledge.
show everyone this picture of a stick figure vomiting.
Yeah, but she doesn't know it's a stick figure.
Okay, roll an intimidation check. This is a long shot. Do it with disadvantage.
Okay.
I like where your head's at. I just wonder, like, if we should be harassing our employer in front of the person she's trying to
her
rob.
home.
Yeah, I mean,
I told you,
against the
this
person.
is the perfect kind of danger Collins lives in. This
this is a bold
story.
strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for him.
But first, a word from our sponsors.
She has no idea what you're doing, and she's a little offended.
Can I save it by, like, as I do that thing, I start, instead of the thumb on my neck, I actually start like scratching my neck, and then I accidentally drop the paper like it's my tissue. And I pick it up.
Roll deception to save it.
No disadvantage?
No disadvantage, just a straight deception roll. My bad, and you spill just a goblet of fine elven wine just all over some noble sitting next to you.
Okay, I want to take my hat off. I put it on my chest and I say, "Ma'am, I better excuse myself." And I hastily disperse into the crowd.
Okay, Colin.
As to not draw more attention.
What I'm going to do.
But then Hash uses his inspiration, and he was the Baroness the whole time. So it's
Wait, is Hash able to use dexterity to jump in front of the wine and take the hit?
Yes.
For the note.
Yes.
Okay.
Roll a dexterity saving throw, which you are actually quite good at. All right. After that scene, we have to change music.
Yeah. This is
Very
perfect
nice.
for what I'm planning on doing, by the way.
All right, well, the wine spills all over you, saving the noble's expensive dress. Well done, you have avoided scandal. Whelm, what are you going to do?
So I go up to Hash, but Hash, can I have that smoke bomb, please?
Oh, of course. Here you go.
So I take the smoke bomb, and as I'm gonna walk up to the Baron, and I'm gonna disguise myself into Chonk again,
Okay.
Oh God.
and it'd be like, I know you see this form before you now. We know the Tiddlywinks is going to attack your barge, because this gnome was going to use this smoke bomb, like this, crash it down to make it explode off. To conceal their attempt to get onto the barge and take everything away under the disguise of this barge. But we were able to stop him. We know what's going to happen, but we don't know how else they're going to plan on going after the barge.
Okay, so you turn into the goblin Chonk, and you drop a smoke bomb as a demonstration of what's going to happen if they don't use wagons.
Of what we overheard was going to happen.
Right. Okay, remove the smoke bomb. Roll a deception check. This is a tall order. Okay, yeah, wow, what a terrifying demonstration. Oh no!
There was gunpowder. There was gunpowder in the smoke bomb, and it starts crackling and popping. Oh God!
Oh shit!
Okay.
And that is what we have heard their plan. We overheard it.
Well, what would you suggest?
Stop Chunk. Well, not to use the barge. They are prepared for to attack your barge.
All right. Well,
Do you have any other means of how you can to transport your goods?
Well, we have the wagons, but those aren't armored. Those aren't for, carrying priceless jewels and wealth. Those are for, hay and supplies and stuff.
What better disguise than to send out the barge as a distraction while using normal-looking wagons as the actual convoy? They would never expect it.
Hugo, the captain of the guard, who's just, covered, he's got a little maple syrup and his cheeks are a little flushed from some attention earlier, says,
Yeah.
If that be the case, your Lord Baron, I insist that I go in disguise with the true treasure to guard it with my very life. And send some mook dressed as me with the barges. That will surely confuse them.
That is an excellent idea, sir. This one, you should hang on to this so daring captain who's willing to put himself in the line of fire in such an amazing escapade.
All right. The decision is made. They will be sending out a wagon train tomorrow, disguised as carrying goods and supplies headed for the villages to the south. Now, how is the party... Were you guys going to build a wagon?
See, that's where the Duchess comes in. We just need to have her provide us with a couple of wagons.
I might have tarnished that relationship, partner.
I'm not affiliated with him.
Oh, Hash can smooth it over. Have you seen his meat? It is grilled well.
Hash, we have the meats.
Oh my gosh, Ash, you need to make her the dragon tip delicate.
Oh,
That will change everything.
the Mist Forest glaze. That's really what gets them.
Okay. What's the recipe for the Mist Forest glaze? How are you going to create that?
Oh, well, it is 2 parts brown sugar cinnamon, 1 part echo ostrich bone marrow, and 1 part of Hash's secret sauce.
Does it have real mist in it? I insist that I have ethically sourced organic mist.
Of course. In fact, the finest mist, right, just the drops of dew, right on the blades of grass, just right over there. We get the finest mist.
Okay. You're gonna cook
You
this...
actually have to.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna add flavor. So you have to go out into the evening of a spring night and turn around 3 times with your eyes closed, standing in front of an oak tree, and only then will you be able to attain the finest mist to add to this delicious dish. That's the rumor anyway.
All right.
That's how Hash does it.
Now, you've mostly just been using your chef's tools, but that's only going to get you so far. So I'm going to need you to come up with some other creative way to make this delicious sauce. using things
Okay.
that your character, skills, abilities, etc., that your character has. Some other way for you to contribute to this other than making the same roll over and over again.
Okay. Maybe I have. Let's see. I have a spear. Can I do something with the spear?
What would you do
I
with
don't
the
know.
spear to make it?
You're a ranger. Do you have survival or nature?
I have survival.
Would you be able to go out and hunt the greatest game or collect or forage the most wonderful resources?
A survival?
I will. Yes, there is a fantastic cave-dwelling beast that requires you to wait 45 long days and 45 long nights. And Hash has done it to wait it out until they leave their nest, where I can draw out the sweet suckling babes of their offspring and use that to make great tender fillets. And that is also great with the Miss Forest Glaze.
Okay, roll a survival check to determine the quality of this monster veal.
Can I assist Hash by being his bodyguard
Oh,
and helping him defeat the monsters in case that one spear doesn't go so well?
okay. Roll
No
an
needs one.
roll. This is again something that happened. This is basically a flashback, but we're just making it part of the skill challenge. Roll an attack with your guns, and we'll see how much damage you inflict. And if you inflict enough damage, you'll get advantage.
I have never been so excited for cuisine-based roleplay in D&D before.
All right. Your gun didn't explode. Roll a second attack because you've got the both of them. Okay, 26 points. That's pretty good. Hash, you can roll a second survival check and take the better of the two, since the two of you joined together on this epic hunt. A 14, a whole point up.
Wow.
Okay. The glaze is going over fairly well.
Better.
So you're doing your part, but the party probably needs one more bit to convince the Baroness to go along with this plan. Somebody else in the party can help out. Whelm or Darius?
Well,
Get us a wagon, right?
there's we know that her relationship with the Baron is so-so, right? I mean, like,
Quite.
so, I mean, if Darius was to drop some hints during the meal that he could make it worth her while, that they could, again, she's already hired them to do this, and, you know, all we're asking for is a couple of wagons. You know, you wouldn't be able to, you know, assist with that. There's nothing that I could do to be able to change your mind about something like that.
Well, if you recall, the whole thing was that she can't be linked to this in any way. She has to remain anonymous. So how can you ensure that you'd protect her secret?
So here's the thing, and Darius is going to, again, not right in front of God and everybody, but he is able to transform himself into Gravane the Fox. You know, if Gravane the Fox steals the wagons, how could that be linked back to the Duchess in any way? She just needs to make sure they're in the right place at the right time for this to be able to happen. And oh my gosh, what a terrible thing that we keep on the down low until tomorrow.
Okay, so make it completely secret. All right. Roll. Do you have a proficiency with a disguise kit?
It cut out there for a second for me. What was that?
Do you have proficiency with a disguise kit?
I absolutely do.
Okay, roll.
And as part of my background, I have a flawless disguise between myself and Gravane.
This is to impress upon her the amazingness of your disguise.
Oh, baby. Okay. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. Send it.
This is me, baby. Yeah!
For all the marbles.
Woo! Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Thanks, Sin.
She is going to lend you. How many wagons do you want?
Well, how many is going to be part of this train?
5 wagons.
I mean, how much does a wagon cost? Could we pull our... if she can't give us all 5, could we pull our funds and come up with the cash needed for the last 1 or 2?
Well, are you trying to buy all the wagons that they're sending? Like, are you trying to completely duplicate the whole train and all the people on the train?
What I mean is how much of these wagons are going to actually have treasure on them? I'm assuming it's not all on one wagon, right?
Well, here's the thing.
Probably, is it all on one or split between 2?
The captain of the guard, in his infinite wisdom, suggests that they send 5 wagons, just like they were planning on sending 5 boats, and they only put the treasure in one of them, so the rest are
perfect.
decoys.
Then we just need, I believe, wagon, right?
Mhm.
Or if we want to go the other opposite end with it, especially because there's nothing but smoke bombs in this tale. If we have 4 wagons, instead of trying to replace the one wagon, if we create enough confusion and then have the correct wagon join a different wagon train, we could go the same path there. I think the other one's easier, but it just depends on how silly we want to get with this heist.
All right, run that by
Makes
me
me want to
again.
get really silly.
So I think we can do one of 2 ways. Either if there's a train of 5 and one of them has the actual goods,
Mhm.
we can either get one wagon and then cause confusion to switch that wagon out, or depending on where we are in the woods as part of this wagon trail, if we can just distract that one wagon and have it join a different caravan of wagons, then we don't have to I kind of see it as if we have to get that one wagon out, we have to somehow pull the wool over that over the captain of the guard's eyes. Whereas
Mhm.
if we have the 4, it might be a little bit easier to just distract that and then add it to a new train that we're now in charge of.
Oh, so you're
Kind of a thing.
all right. So you're gonna basically.
Kind of detach the train from one cart and attach it to a different cart, effectively, like putting it in train terms.
So you create your own wagon train, bump into their wagon train, and in the chaos, you slip it between the two.
We can either go that route or just do the one. Yeah.
How do we know which of the real wagons has the treasure?
Well, the Baron
Like
is
some of
only
them-
going to trust his captain of the guard. No offense to you fine folks, but, there's a reason that he has this man in his service. So Hugo will be responsible for knowing which one has the real treasure.
Then I think just one caravan then, because our whole goal for the next part of the phase will be to figure out which one it is and then do the whole switcheroo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. So, I'm not working to convince the lady to give us a cart. What I would like to do is convince Hugo to let me be a part of the caravan as a forward scout. I'll go up to him and kind of demonstrate how silent and stealthy I can be. And kind of how out of the way and I can keep an eye on things and know what may be coming towards us.
Okay, roll a stealth check to demonstrate your fantastic abilities. 17. He is duly impressed with your technique.
Yeah. Disappear into the shadows and see?
Yes, you could be quite handy. We'll go ahead and use you as a scout. You came up from the Elven lands. You'll know the way. You're in the caravan.
Yes.
How are the rest of you going to get in? You have one wagon that you're going to be able to steal, and you need to talk your way into the caravan, or you can tail them. What's your plan?
I want to try and schmooze the king over with my experimental weapons, because it's clearly a man of such class, and or not the king, the baron. Surely a man of such class, and I point to his fine elven silk. So he'd be interested in some real firepower, a man who knows his way around a tussle. And I do a little spin with the gun. See these? Taking down beast unknown to man with hash here, making him the finest dishes. One shot. Make me a bodyguard with your captain. I'll follow loyally. I ain't one to argue.
All right, what skill would you like to use to talk him into this?
I want to demonstrate by shooting something
Okay.
to show him the true power.
What target are you going to hit?
I offer the king or the baron to make a choice for me. But I want it to be dangerous.
Dangerous? All right. He wants you to climb up on top of the walls, hanging from, holding onto a rope to support yourself on one side, and to hit a goblet that'll be set on the parapets.
All right. I assume
As he goes up, I'll go up to kind of give him a pep talk. You got this, Collins. I know you can do it. And I'll cast guidance on him.
Okay.
I assume I use acrobatics to climb the Yeah, here comes the 20-foot disadvantage. I was waiting. I have acrobatics, so I use
With disadvantage because this is above 20 feet.
Yeah. It's now a good time to use my inspiration.
So if you want, you can always use inspiration after you
After my bad doo-doo roll.
after you roll, but before you know the result.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Ooh.
An even 10. What'll it be?
That's with his guidance.
No, the guidance you can roll
D4.
1d4 and add to it.
Okay, and then can I get my +2 bonus to attack rolls? Is this an attack roll?
No, this is an
Oh
acrobatics
no,
check.
no, this is just acrobatics. Is this where the plan goes wrong? No, nope. My flaw is I'm delusional to any objective evidence that I'm not a hero,
Okay.
and I think that this is a perfect challenge.
You
So
can
I'm
still roll
gonna,
that 1d4 though.
yeah, I'm gonna roll that 1d4 here.
All that beautiful bean footage.
Oh,
4 of
does this save me?
14. Oh yeah, you almost slip, but then the little voice of Fortune's father whispers and the wind shifts just at the right moment and you save it. Roll, shoot the shot.
Shoot the shot.
This is an
Okay, I
armor
might-
class of 17 to hit.
And the goblet is where?
It's up on top of like a balcony up on the tower. You're on the walls and this is up on the tower. So you're hanging over the courtyard by holding onto this rope. Your feet are
Okay.
against the wall and you're leaning forward and you're going to shoot the shot. You're going to hit a 17 or higher to hit this thing.
All right. Am I juiced up from my heroics
Does that
for
matter?
my background? Yeah, I'm trying to get advantage.
No.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, send it.
Okay, I also want to declare that I'm not using an explosive bolt for this. I'm
job.
I'm not trying to frag anybody in the
Okay.
Baron's honor. All right, ready?
Mhm.
I also
He
do I
is
add 2
juiced
to
up.
this?
Why
But
would
it's not
you?
giving him an advantage.
What is he adding to coming from this?
The archery.
Yes, this is an attack.
Okay. All right. Oh no!
No,
Okay.
17.
Meet or
Oh,
beat.
no, okay.
It's meet or beat. You nail the shot.
Yep.
Oh, thank God. I
Nice.
thought it was
5
a
is
5.
the damage. 5 is
Yeah,
the damage.
sneaky, sneaky.
He's impressed. You're on the caravan. I think Darius is the only one who needs to talk his way in. The chef is already in such good graces that, like,
Well,
Oh,
go ahead.
we
Hash.
need someone.
I was gonna say, let's see. Well, Hash is really, he just knows these trails. He knows the land, and he knows that there's a common monster breeding ground right where we're going by. It's gonna be calamitous,
Oh,
and Hash will be able to see it coming. He knows the sounds of the mating, and he knows when it's going to get a little rough out there. So you need Hash at the front of the caravan, so he knows when we need to possibly make a detour, or maybe, I don't know, go off trail slightly. Something might happen there. Don't worry about that, but we might need to avoid it, and you need Hash at the front. Maybe he could use his insight or perception, to do that.
okay. I'm gonna need 2 things from you. 1, that's a good idea. You can roll inside of perception.
Okay. I'm gonna do perception. Boom.
15. Okay. 2. So what does the mating call of this beast sound like, Hash?
Oh, it's a little it's in your throat. It's like
Oh, so
a, when you hear that, yeah, it's you hear, yeah, it's a little bit. If you remember back at the Golden when I was throwing up in the corner, it sounds a lot like that.
Excellent. Well, we certainly. All right. No. Well, we definitely don't want that. Fun fact: Chat granted Collins inspiration. Hit the shot.
Yeah, I read it too late.
It's all good. You have it. All right, Darius. Do you have a way to talk your way into the caravan? If you do that, we move on to the final phase.
Well, I would, but I think we need to keep one of us that we trust with the actual dupe caravan or the dupe
all right.
cart, right?
So you're
I'm
going to
going to stay with the. Yes, I'm going to stay with the carriage. Make sure I follow along the group.
Okay.
And I've got pretty good stealth and whatnot. I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to keep myself out of sight and just lingering just far enough to be able to swoop in and do the act when it needs doing.
Okay, I'm going to have you roll stealth to tell the caravan.
Perfect. I can do this. Are we moving on to another phase, or are we still same phase?
This is moving on to the next phase.
Perfect.
Roll stealth.
And just wondering from my consumables and stuff, is this a new day, or are we still same day?
Do you guys attack actually, no, they'd have to wait until the morning anyway. So, the next morning, the barges head out. And Hugo, the Proud Knight, and the caravan all join forces and begin riding down the trail, passing through through the streets of the city, where the common folk look on and sort of wan, drawn faces from the starvation, looking at the finery of everyone wearing the Baron's colors with a bit of anger but dull acceptance on their visage. And as you ride out from the gates, protected by all of the Baron's guards, the caravan rolls over hills through outlying towns and villages and farmlands. The land is settled as far as the eye can see. So, I'm going to need the following to execute the final stage of the plan. First, Darius, roll a stealth check to tail them. 17. You are undetected. The three of you are traveling with the caravan. You need to pick the opportune time to strike. Who's going to help identify the right moment?
Think Hash.
Right?
He knows
Hash
those mating
got the eyes.
calls.
I have the mating calls. Also, I also want to point out that when we saw the gaunt faces of the villagers, Hash was sad.
Ash was sad.
Hash was sad, and he likes to make sure people eat. So, anyway,
So-
I'm gonna
That's
We
valid.
have
That
3
makes
days
sense.
roughly, right?
The journey will take 3 days, but you can make the hit whenever you want.
Right. So when do we make the moment? How many? There's 5 wagons. How many armed guards and stuff?
Funny you should ask. Each of the wagons is like this.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Now, if you zoom out, I've put your pieces sort of off to the left, but I'll go ahead and put you around here. This is not like literally how things are right now at this very moment. This is just giving you an idea of what each wagon is like. 4 guards, an archer / lookout, and a big dude up front. One of those big dudes is good Sir Hugo.
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 Sorry, just to confirm, it cut out. We have 4 guards, a scout, and like a veteran or a thug or something.
An archer, and then like a tough person, a veteran, a thug. Hugo's a knight. The other ones are veterans. So let me actually put a veteran down instead.
Are we inside of a is this cliff face 10 feet up?
Oh, this isn't any specific area. This is just sort of it's a general map. Honestly, this was originally a river, and I quickly, while we were playing, replaced all the river texture with dirt texture and moved the cliffs closer together because...
What I meant was how high up are these walls?
Oh, there's certainly places along the trail that would be 10 feet up or whatever. You can sort of take your pick, but only if you get a good result on whatever skill check you make to pick your ambush spot.
Okay. Can I... So this is a big boulder?
Yeah. But again,
Can I be
if you use flashbacks or the right skills, you can add things to this map, reflecting the fact that you get to pick your attack point.
Cool. I have 2 inspiration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I make a flashback?
Yes.
And I want to try and put when we gathered the boys while we were waiting,
Mm-hmm.
when we did a scouting run down this path,
Mm-hmm.
and we saw this huge boulder, and we set up a trap that's gonna drop a big log in the front so that none of the caravans can run forward.
Mm-hmm. Give me a sec. I'm pulling up a big fuck off log.
And I don't know what triggers it. I was hoping the party could, because I don't want it to trigger, and then we just frag from where we are.
You guys are part of the caravan, right? So you'll have some flexibility in terms of where you put yourselves. And you don't even have you don't have to kill. It's up to you what you do.
Yeah.
Can I
I said I was going to be a forward scout, so I would be up in front and kind of doing things, searching around.
Mm-hmm.
Could we use a Suro to be the one to trigger the trap?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you want to attack would you want to, it doesn't have to be an attack, it could be a stealth move, whatever. Would you want to spring your ambush in open farmland or in some forest?
Do we being part of the caravan, do we know which of the 5 has the loot?
That is another problem that you have to solve.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah, we needed to figure that
And
out.
Darius is away from the rest of the group, so he can't directly participate. So the 3 of you need to pick your ambush point and determine which of the caravans has the loot.
Perhaps Hash was schmoozing his favorite captain on our long journey.
Yeah, the captain did. I don't think he didn't tell me very much. He was so caught up on talking about my food that I actually couldn't get him to give me any good information whatsoever.
You wouldn't shut
He
up
kept
about
asking
it.
about my recipes. Yeah, he kept talking about the fish. We're like, it wasn't even fish. He doesn't even know the food I'm feeding him. He has a nonce. He doesn't know what he's talking. I can't stand him.
That's phenomenal. I love it.
Did he?
Oh!
Did Hash
I know I'm not
poison
here.
their
Question.
food?
Hey, Cleric, do you have locate object?
Oh, me?
Prepared. Although, you know, that could have been something I could have thought about last night.
I almost grabbed that.
Because if we gave the goat back to the dad of the treasury, you could locate the goat and know which one it's in.
I feel like that's definitely something I would have thought about.
Hash, do take a look at your spells to see if there's anything you can use. Because again, you have to figure it out the target. You have to set up the perfect ambush point, and then you have to decide: are you gonna like jump them and attack them? What's your actual plan? So make sure you look at your spells and stuff to know what would be helpful. All right. So if you are willing to be down a spell slot during this fight and have locate object as a prepared spell, you will automatically know which cart has the treasure.
Yep. I will cast locate object on our Delio, be down a spell slot.
Done and done.
God, that goat, man. MVP.
Yeah.
Dude, MVP.
MVP.
Bless you, Chonk.
Actual goat.
Bless you, Chonk.
Trojan goat. Trojan
Okay.
goat.
Trojan goat. Trojan goat.
It's instead of being the thing carrying everything, it's the thing on the inside revealing everything.
The inside goat.
I'm
Inside
looking at my
goat.
spells. I feel like I have some useful stuff.
What do you got?
Pass without trace.
Yeah, I
That
have
seems
as well.
useful.
Supernatural
right?
stealth.
It makes you
That's
incredibly
what me
stealthy.
and that's what me and Collins used to stealth, and where I got the 36 and he got the 28 because of the plus 10.
It would definitely help
I-
you get away undetected.
Okay,
Yes.
I have Misty Step. I can teleport. Can I teleport maybe somewhere?
It only teleports you, but if you can think of a way to use that, like that's also super
so
handy.
I can't teleport with something in my hands.
With an object in your hands, yes, but the amount of treasure, it's like heavy crates of treasure.
Okay.
So you wouldn't be able to get away with all the loot.
I'm
Okay.
assuming the wagon weighs well over 500 pounds.
Easy.
Oh,
yes.
what about I have fog cloud.
Fog cloud is
use
super
fog.
helpful.
I could use fog cloud, and that we could use that, and we could make the switcheroo right then and there. Right? I could
Yeah,
do
no,
we could
absolutely.
definitely plan that out.
That's
Boom.
perfect. We down the tree, drop the fog cloud during the confusion, make the switcheroo.
Yeah. So as this is happening, as we're the three of us up in the thing are kind of just determining this plan, I would like to use my forward scout status on the group to stealth away to find Darius and fill him in on our plan and be like, yeah, you know, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna drop a log. We're gonna create a fog cloud. That's when you need to come rushing in. You know, find out which one it is. It's this wagon. I was able to determine our goat is the goat of this heist of ours. Yeah, we'll be able to do that, and then I run, stealth back up.
Okay, he's now read in on the plan.
And then, so just to make sure, I want to make sure we're doing this correctly. When we do this, we're basically going to, when this log is down, I'm assuming we're going to have to get people to come out and move this thing. And we're going to try and get our main man to be leading that. During that time, we are going to bring in this cart that has nothing, and then I'm going to grab the other cart and leave with the treasure cart to the predisposed location that we've all come up with. And then we're just going to let you guys proceed with them for a while until this all wraps up, right?
All under the protection of a smoke cloud from the fog,
Yep.
right?
Smoke bomb!
Dude, fucking
Hey,
comes
circle.
I revealed our secret, but about Tiddlywinks, not us.
Now, mate, are we able to pick as like part of this? We can do this during like a time when like things would be like either another caravan coming by from an opposite direction, or time this to where we pick a time. We're like, oh, hey, there's some people coming up ahead, and kind of drop it to create additional confusion, kind of a thing.
So you each need to make a skill check or contribute a spell or something else, and the more of that you do, the more factors you can influence about the exact moment this goes off.
I would
Collins
100%
used
do
a
pass without
flashback,
trace.
which doesn't count.
I will 100% do flash without trace. to assist the stealth of the transition.
Right, but that's for the exit strategy. This is
exit strategy.
This is setting up the moment of the swap.
Well, I would be the one dropping the log, so I would use stealth to.
Okay, roll a stealth check.
Do part of my job. Oh, I'm gonna use that inspiration that I have.
Okay, that's gone.
Worth.
4. Great. So you've got the stealth, but if you want to decide like the right moment to do this, you're going to need more. Darius, is there anything you can do from the outskirts to influence the location, the geography, or the conditions of the test?
I'm taking a look here, and what I'm thinking is this trip is taking place over 3 days instead of the
Correct.
1 day because it takes a little bit longer. My thought is, again, I'm not staying with these guys. I'm making sure that I'm hanging back a bit. I think what I want to do is hire, like even though I don't have a ton of gold, I've got enough to where if I throw some gold around for some people, I can make sure that at the right time, kind of like make sure I have like my own little caravan following me to where when this happens, we just have a bunch of people, again, like kind of the merry men pop out and just add to the tumultuous of this whole thing. Make sure that when the plan goes off, I have people on standby that as they're trying to clear this tree, they come in and like create additional distractions to kind of again add chaos. Hey, what are you people doing here? We were transporting some very important goods. You got to back off. It's like, oh no, man, we just need some money, or like there's
the Assassin's Creed gambit.
Yeah.
Coin.
We're poor and we're hungry, and we know you got some good stuff, and we're traveling, and we can give you a performance to make up. And it's like, no, we don't want anything like that. Get out of here, and kind of distract them from our ulterior motives.
Burn the rest of your gold, and you're going to introduce a crowd of strangers and peasants. So that's what you're contributing.
I have no gold anymore, and I am, doing that.
All
Perfect.
Right. Hash, is there anything you can do to control where the ambush occurs? Using your knowledge, your abilities? Yeah.
Oh, well. Let's see. Knowledge or abilities. Well. I could do... Let's see. I am so for like where it's going to happen.
Yes, you're trying to pick the perfect spot to conduct the switch.
Okay. Hash knows that he's such good with his hands. He can make one of the wagon's wheels mess up and slow down the wagon. They're gonna have to be forced to stop and look at it for repairs. You can use his fingers to get in there really quickly and mess with it and tinker with it and maybe stop the wagon and mess it up.
Okay, so make a sleight of hand check, which is the same as a dexterity check.
Okay.
10. That's not excellent. Is there anything else you can do to tilt the balance in your favor?
Okay.
I don't know if you have any inspiration. I don't think you have any anymore.
I don't know if I do or not.
No, you do not have inspiration. So
okay,
with a 10, you make it wobble a little bit, but you're not going to be able to pull it off exactly the way that you had planned.
Okay.
And
let's see.
Hugo notices you fiddling with the wheels.
Oh.
How are you going to talk your way out of that one?
Oh.
Can I attempt to distract Hugo?
Yes.
While he puts his hands down there?
How so?
I lean in. I'm like, Hugo, you're a man of fine weaponry, right?
I like to consider myself the foremost expert on martial matters.
I kind of like give him a bro punch on the shoulder. I'm like, why else would the Baron make you his main man? Am I right?
Nice. Flattery will get you absolutely everywhere.
Oh, and then
Hash, go.
Actually, Hash comes. Oh, the wheel. I was fixing the wheels, and then I used my acrobatics to jump all around the caravan, fixing the different parts of the wagon. Because I am Hash. We want to get to where we need to go. I'm not tinkering. I'm fixing it.
Okay, roll acrobatics. Oh yeah, no, nobody suspects a thing. That was clearly, it's just an eccentric elven chef sort of deal. That's obviously completely fine. It must be how they taught him down in elf cooking school.
Of course.
Okay, so the way that it's gonna go down right now is there's gonna be a little bit of light tree cover, not a huge amount of light tree cover. enough to proc the trap that you've got set up.
Right.
And
so, knowing which wagon is it? Is it like the second, third, fourth, fifth, first? Like,
which one is it? You tell me.
The locate object told me.
Yeah. So basically, I'm saying, and it turns out that it is
the third one.
The third one, right in the middle.
Yeah. So I'm going when it all comes down to dropping the trap, having been stealth forward. I'm going to use levitate to find like the biggest, like just meatiest log that like under 500 pounds that I can, and just kind of like lift it up and then like kind of chuck it to 30 feet to land in the path.
So
as in between the second and third card.
Okay, so a log is going to fly out of nowhere.
Is that when the fog cloud is happening?
And then as that happens is when the fog cloud should be triggered.
Okay, so you're going to do the fog cloud, and you're going to throw a log, and then a bunch of peasants are going to show up asking for coin all at the same time.
Well, I think it's going to be staged a bit, not like literally.
Coin! Coin!
They're going to come out of the woodwork.
Coin! Coin!
I'm assuming it'll take.
I want to use my acrobatics to climb up the rock wall. And I want to look at the dud cart, the cart that doesn't have the treasure. And I want to fire 2 explosive bolts at the 2 like wheels on that side.
So you're gonna disable one of the carts?
Yeah.
Is this stick 'em up, or are you trying to be subtle about this?
I want to do it I want to ready it that in case Hugo starts like, yo, what the fuck, and he might draw on us. I want it to be like a not today.
Got it. Okay. I'm gonna just throw down a couple of trees. Up. Disrupting
all the tectonic shit.
As that happens, thaumaturgy rumbles the ground. And Hash remembers when he threw up the day before.
The monsters are moving the ground.
That's the peasants coming out of the ground. Coin!
Just like zombies from the earth.
And I imagine the peasant bit, because this is all not going to happen at the same time, super coincidentally. It'll take some time to clear this log out and whatnot. And I'm figuring during the time, this band just so happens to approach them. These forest dwellers are like, "Hey, you guys need some help? Oh man, you guys got some coin? Oh hey, we can dance for some coin. Hey, why don't you?" And then that whole.
Well, scrub your windows, wash your windows.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll
Clean the
feed your
wind
horses,
with the
sir.
wheel wells.
Guys, we can't stop here. It's coin country.
It's coin country.
It's coin country.
Okay, let's execute this plan.
I have used my levitate.
All right.
Very, very nice.
So a tree goes flying out of nowhere. And now I'm going to move this magical fog cloud.
Oh,
Yes.
And grant... Hash, you have control over the fog cloud. Place it exactly where you want it.
You
You can click and drag on it.
Hash, his belly's getting a little rumbly. The fog of war has struck. Oh, it's so stinky. There it is. Oh, that's the dragon tips. Those are hitting hard.
All right. So that occurs at that exact moment. Darius, here is your cart.
Glorious.
So you spend a spell slot to activate that. Oh, I need to move this to the token layer. Grant you control over it. Darius, how are you going to sneak this in?
So here's what I'm thinking. When we have the rabble of coin beggars approaching, since we're the third carts, we have this cloud that looks like it's blocking some line of sight from these caravans that are a bit farther back. We have a giant log and a bunch of beggars that are accosting this group here. I'm thinking we kind of do a little switcheroo here with the fog, the horrible, repercussions of having a wonderful meal. And Darius is just going to slide into these DMs over here, do a little switcheroo, and then go right back out into the woods before the cloud lifts and the food meister lets everyone know it's okay. It's just this is what happens when you eat dragon tip. This is thing that goes down.
All right.
And then the beggars will then very slowly but surely start to disperse and no longer be an issue. And we'll be able to sneak this cart away,
Okay.
hopefully before anyone else is the
How-
wiser.
How are you going to get everyone off the cart?
Well, that is the
I
kicker,
have a
isn't it?
plan.
Let's go,
I knew
cowboy.
you would.
What you got?
I could blow them all off, but that endangers the goods, and it also would put us in combat.
I could try the mating call of the beasts and have the monsters show up. It'll scare off the peasants. But then the monsters might destroy everything and crush us because they're so big. So it would be risky.
Can I?
Also,
Can
mate,
I-
also my
Hold
My
on,
thought here is that-
cowboy, then Matt. Sorry, I just want to make sure that we hear that
Yeah.
plan that he was trying to get out.
I want to hear out Darius, but I might want to work together with Hash
Mhm.
and create a fake distraction of. I say, "Oh, I'll go deal with the monsters" because we hear the mating call.
Mhm.
Then I run in and because I'm up the cliff, they can't see me. I'll shoot some explosive bolts and maybe we can have our thaumaturge create some horrible battle noises.
I was going to do that. That's what I was going to say. I can start doing like noises off the distance.
Okay, Darius, what were you gonna say?
Oh, that's a great idea. I to add on to it, I was just gonna say that my thought with the rabble would be that if you have a bunch of beggars kind of coming up to your cart and are like, hey, we need some help. I'm assuming these guards, at least some of them, would come out and be like, hey, disperse, get away from the wagon. They know they're carrying valuable treasure, so that would at least take care of some of these guys. Kind of at least hopefully the big guy, but maybe drawing away a few others, so that we only have a few left to have to assist with dealing with this crazy monster that's coming up. And during the commotion, we have the cart slip in, and hopefully no one's the wiser.
Okay, this is a complicated plan, but I dig it. So, phase 1.
It'll work.
3 of the guards are, hey, step aside. One of them stays on board with the scout and the
Coin.
coin.
Let me guess. Someone stole your sweet roll.
All right. So I'm gonna have you roll survival, Hash, to release the terrible mating call of the owl bear. Okay. You hear the terrible mating call of the owl bear, and what do, Collins?
I was next to the captain.
Mm-hmm.
I tell him this is just the thing a hero would do, and I take my revolver and I spin it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, you make sure you protect these people. I'll go take care of this. And I want to see if he acknowledges it.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna jump off and start swatting people, and hey, everyone out of the way.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt an acrobatics check to climb the 10-foot high wall.
Mm-hmm. Roll it. Why do you have disadvantage?
I left it on from my last roll on the rope.
All right, well, a 14 is sufficient. You're able to scale the wall, and then what?
Okay, I have a little movement left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go till they can't see,
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna be like, "Whoa there, big boy!" And I'm gonna bang, bang, bang.
Roll.
And as I hear him shoot, I'll start making my noises.
All right.
Oh, and I'm gonna fire. I'm just gonna let loose some arrows into the just randomly. Just let them loose.
Oh, jeez, it's coming! Pew pew pew.
They're everywhere.
Okay.
And after I hear that, I'm like, he needs some help! And I'll start running off up that way as well.
Okay. Roll a deception check, Whelm. All right. The last guard takes up a defensive position, leaving only the archer on top of the cart.
Now, mate, I can not deal death blows with my sneak attack. I'm wondering if I can kind of jump in there, knock her out, and then grab the cart and put them back on the cart. And we can just say she passed out from the fumes, something like that.
Okay, roll stealth.
Not the view.
Stealthing it up, baby. 20. Non-natural.
You make the approach stealthily. Roll a sneak attack. Roll with advantage.
Perfect. I would like to use, since I want to use a trick throw, I want to use my lingering wound where I take my dagger and throw it to the pommel, cracks her right in the temple, hopefully knocking her out and sending her into like,
Jesus.
you know, not convulsions necessarily, but like, you know, kind of give her a little, kind of do what happened to Chonk earlier. Yeah, give her a little that unconscious special.
The Chonk special. The Chonk
special. All right.
Does that sound cool to you?
Sounds
non-lethal.
Cool to me.
I don't want to kill this person.
Sounds good to me.
All right, I'm gonna top it. Here we go, baby. Did it go?
It didn't go yet.
Noise.
I heard a noise.
I heard the sound.
Should I do it again or should I wait?
Suspense.
Oh God. Okay.
Do it
if
again.
I click
maybe
it again,
it'll
think
flush the system out.
Oh God, I'm hearing 2 now.
Same.
I didn't hear that second one.
Okay, all I'm hearing is a bunch of beep.
You can
beep.
see
okay,
it like moving, but not loading anything.
I think something might be wrong with it, perhaps.
Okay, let me. It was working before. Let me just try this. Let's just click this. Okay, that works. So we'll just do that. But I'm using my lingering strike. God, why isn't that showing its thing? That's so weird. Does that do it?
No, I think it's busted. Something's busted. We'll troubleshoot it later.
Booey! It worked. Literally, I checked before stream and it was working just fine. Okay. They have to make a Constitution saving throw. DC 16.
Nice.
Beautiful. They are going to be taking a bunch of glorious damage, and let me see. That had my no, it didn't now because it didn't do the lingering strike. Gosh darn it. Okay, let me just do this /roll 1d6. There we go. Okay, they take 20 points of damage.
Okay. Unconscious. You're able to move in and make the swap. You now have
can't see into the fog cloud, right?
Correct. That moment, a terrible sound emerges from the woods.
Oh God!
It's very guttural. It's sort of back in the throat.
Hash actually brought an animal.
As a horny owlbear emerges.
That's a really convincing thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
Wrong side.
I look at Well and be like, oh shit, there's an actual monster.
Bradley, your machine glitched out at that moment, but it was like a cartoon effect. It was like you were so distraught. Okay, you do not have to fight the owlbear, but I am going to have everybody roll for initiative. Click on your character token to highlight them. Then click the initiative button at the top of the middle column. I would suggest a hasty escape, but I leave that to your individual choices.
Okay.
Joe, I get a bonus of +5 to my initiative. So
Hot dip.
So I have 21.
Hot damn.
Can you run me through what I'm supposed to do? Sorry.
Yeah, so you're going to click on your character token, who is right there. So he's selected.
Yeah.
Now, on your character sheet, at the top of the middle column is a box that says initiative. Click on the word initiative.
Okay.
Nice. Everybody
Perfect.
Good
Everyone did it. Well done.
Oh, big one.
Except for me. Collins is at 21. Because of the +5.
Okay. And I'm going to roll in our good Sir Hugo, the mighty Sir Hugo. Just to see where he goes. Where Hugh goes.
Where Hugh
Dude, I can't imagine that all the peasants, while this fucking horny owlbear comes out there, coin! Coin!
Okay, Hash, an actual owlbear. The swap has just been completed. Both of the wagons are sort of shoved together inside of this mist in all this confusion. And a real owlbear just trundled out of the woods, arriving at your mating call. What do you do? On your turn in combat, you can move up to your full speed, which is 30 feet, which is 6 squares. And you can take one action. Attacking is an action. Most spells are an action. Some spells are a bonus action. You can only do one of those per turn. So again, you don't have to fight this thing, but you do need to do something.
Oh, this looks ripe for my next dish. I am taking it on.
Okay.
All right, what do I do?
So you are going to attack the owlbear. What
gonna
weapon are
attack
you going to use?
I'm hitting it from afar because that
Mm-hmm.
big boy is big. I'm hitting with my longbow.
All right. So, and do you have the extra attack feature? You do. So you get to attack twice on your turn because you're a level 5 ranger. So click the word longbow to fire your bow.
Longbow. Fired.
18 plus 4.
That means I scored.
That means I score.
Do I do it again?
No, hold on. I'm trying to see what happened. Yeah, so you easily land a hit and you inflict 7 points of damage. Loose a second arrow.
Loose.
Another hit.
Oh my god,
5 points
this
of
guy's
damage.
an animal.
2 solid hits. Do you want
just popping off today.
Do you want to move at all?
No, I don't want to.
All right. Darius, it's your turn. There's a real owlbear.
Wait, Joe, wouldn't I go next?
Yes, you would, because you're at 21, and for some reason that didn't update.
No problem.
Collins, it's your turn. What's the range
I
on
didn't mean
those
to-
things? No.
I didn't mean to frag Matt.
That's a valid concern.
Oh no, you're good.
No, I am going to go 1, 2. I can't, in good conscience, leave these people
Mhm.
in the danger of an owlbear. And so, upon my hero's background, what became a simple heist to rob a scumbag is now a hero's tale.
Mhm.
Or Throt in the danger. I must save the people.
Yes.
I rush and I leap off this cliff to the log.
All right, roll acrobatics. Yes, you do. You do the thing you just described.
Sick.
You are 80
How
feet
far?
away. What's the range on your crossbows?
60.
That means you have disadvantage on this shot.
Cool. So I am going to use my last inspiration,
Mhm.
and I'm going to line up. I'm going to expend a grit, and I'm going to line up a winging shot
Okay.
to attempt to topple the bear.
Oh,
No.
okay. Roll it. Roll an attack, normal, no disadvantage because you're burning inspiration to remove disadvantage.
Cool. And then we'll add 2 to this because of archery.
Mhm.
Oh! Shit.
Well, you land right on the thing, but that hide is thick.
Let's see. I think grit can only be used once. Nope, I can do it again.
Okay, you have a second attack, but you don't have you have disadvantage on this attack because you use your inspiration on the first roll.
I'm gonna save my grit, but I am gonna make. Ooh, can my action surge count as another movement?
Your action surge lets you take. Is it another? Click on it. I want to see
Be
it.
another action.
Yeah,
Like a whole nother turn, basically.
right. So you can take one more action. So your action is to attack, but you can attack twice with your action because you're a level 5 fighter. So you get
'cause
another
of
attack.
extra attack?
Just for free, but it's at disadvantage. So you might as well take that as part of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let me
Okay.
click disadvantage on
Yep.
and. I
8.
wish I didn't.
Your second shot goes wide. So here's what you can do. If you action surge, you can then dash to move even further, but it might be more effective next round to move into combat range and then spend your action surge to just helicopter the guy.
Oh, I start spinning. Alright.
Okay.
I'm just gonna idle.
I face down in defense mode and I end my turn. All right. So next up, Darius. You have both carts shoved together in the chaos.
This could not be any better with the owlbear. I am going to. I didn't get a chance to talk this before. My screen's been kind of cutting in and out, but I think it would make sense since they're both very similar carts to kind of distinguish our peasant cart from the real one. Could we say that I have like a really crappy tarp over our carts, and then I right now use my action to take that tarp and throw it over the one we're taking, and then during this whole kerfuffle, I can tell the peasants, "Hey, come on back! Let's get out of here. There's an owlbear. Quickly, we must flee." And then in the the heist wagon with the tarp over it, I'm going to collect our peasants and go, "There's an owlbear. Let the heroes do this. We got to go."
Okay.
Kind of a thing.
Roll sleight of hand for the whole tarp business. You're pretty good at that, right?
Oh, natural 1, but I have luck. I'm burning it.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, so as I'm pulling the tarp,
I can't see too well inside this crazy mist. So I'm like, oh god, and it's just not coming off. So I take out my dagger and slice off part that's being held, and then boom, I'm able to get it over and cover up the other cart the best I can.
Okay. Pick a direction, move yourself and the cart out of here. Up to 20 feet. It's pretty slow and you have to go up. Meanwhile, peasants just start scattering in every direction. Oh god, please, no!
Oh god!
Wah! Wah!
What? I don't want the coin! I don't want the coin!
If we could center them just near the cart, quickly get on the cart, let's get out of here, kind of a thing.
Oh, you're gonna load up the cart with peasants?
They're gonna steal all the treasure!
Squad, let's go!
I mean, the treasure's going to them, so that's fine.
All right,
Squad, roll out!
a bunch of them.
Giddy up! Yeah!
Tokyo Drift.
Okay, good round. Sir Hugo, fear not. I will slay this beast.
He's such a good guy.
He spends his whole turn running up towards it. Asuro, it's your turn.
I love Sir Hugo.
Do 60 feet. I'll go kind of down there. Go to there. Wait, hold on. Do the right click thing, the waypoint thing. Click on me. Wait, why? Oh, I'm on the wrong tools. There we go. We're like this. To there. To there. And that's my turn. I'll just be like, let's get the beast!
All right. The owlbear.
Trying to draw all the guards' attention to the beast.
The owlbear is going to roll a perception check. It realizes, wait a minute, there's no potential mate here. That makes me angry.
Oh,
And it's going to go right for Hash.
oh my god.
Huge beast with a beak instead of a face goes right at you. What is your armor class? It's near the top of the screen. Top of middle column.
I don't want a Hash's adventure to end like this.
Oh no, wait.
Welcome to
Can I die?
D&D.
Oh my god. Wait. Okay,
So,
I'm
you need
looking
to go back to the
core,
core.
right?
You need to go back to the core page, and it's near the top. It's in the middle column, near the
Okay,
top.
armor class says 16.
16. That's pretty good. Okay, the owlbear attacks you twice. Once with its beak, and once with both of its claws, which is a single attack. So here's the beak attack. That is a
Oh my God,
natural 1. So on a natural 1, as it comes barreling towards you, and it leaps majestically off the cliff face and comes flying towards you, goes all the way over you, lands directly on top of the guard who hit. Ah! And he's now trapped, flailing underneath the owlbear. It lands prone in a heap and loses its second attack.
See, the thing is,
Oh, wow.
this is all an act. We didn't realize that Hash actually paid this owlbear off beforehand to come and
Does anybody
pretend to
have
fight us during this
inspiration
holy
left?
patron.
Does anyone have inspiration
Fresh out.
left?
I'm fresh out.
I don't have any.
All right, because we are still in the heist. All right, Hash, it's your turn.
Okay. Well, he is very close to me.
Yes, and he's prone, which means that if you attack him when you're next to him, you'll get advantage on your attacks.
Okay. Can I? Am I allowed to use a spell and attack or no?
It depends on the spell. So Misty Step is a bonus action, meaning that doesn't take up your action. But if you
What
click
about-
on a spell, it'll tell you what the casting time is. If the casting time is 1 action, then you
Oh.
don't. That takes up your attack.
Okay. So I want to use Hunter's Mark because
Mhm.
that's 1 bonus action.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that. Do I click on it?
Nope. Yeah. Click on the spell Hunter's Mark just so we all see the description.
All right. I'm doing Hunter's Mark.
Oh, no, the spell works weird. Give me 1 sec. But that's fine. You've done that. You've now basically marked it, and you still have your action. You can use your action to attack it twice. You can use your bow, but you can also use a melee weapon since you're in point blank range.
I was gonna say it's time for Hash's brawn dagger. I'm gonna use a dagger.
All right, turn on advantage and
Okay.
roll an attack.
All right, I just clicked dagger, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That is a solid hit, and you deal an extra 1 point of damage for your hunter's mark. So you deal
Cool.
9 points of damage to the owlbear.
Did Linderl in chat give the bear inspiration?
Linrondiel gave the guard who's been flattened by the owlbear inspiration.
Owlbear
Oh,
did guard.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Save our boy.
He's just doing his job, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, you can roll a second attack because you are level 5 ranger.
Okay.
Ooh.
Die, beast!
All right, yeah, 18 is a hit, and your hunter's mark does extra damage. Click hunter's mark again. That'll tell you how much extra damage you do.
Dude, Hash is a fucking
What a kid.
warrior.
Yep. He kills him, he cooks him, he eats him.
He's a sex
Exactly.
icon warrior, dude.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right.
And of course he's doing the flourish that we worked on earlier to
Yeah.
chop suey this beast.
The hula knives.
Why is he rolling with bless? By the way.
Oh, dip.
Oh, I assumed that you blessed him. Whoops.
No, that
I
yeah,
did
okay.
not.
We got to turn that off. It doesn't really affect what's happened so far. Let me just. Yep. All right.
Which is
I
good,
do-
but yeah, that's
do
weird.
No, you
I
didn't
was
do
just trying to-
anything wrong. The character sheet had a weird thing.
I was like, why is he get bless? That's weird.
But yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
I
Now
haven't done
you
that yet.
you can also move up to your speed, which I believe should be 30 feet. Normally, if you walk away from an enemy in combat, they get a free shot against you. But because the owlbear is prone, until it stands up, you can move away without provoking an attack. So you can stay in range of melee, or you can move away.
Hash doesn't run away from a fight. He's gonna stay where he is.
Respect. Collins, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna move a little bit.
Now you only get advantage to hit it if you're above it. So,
Yeah.
like adjacent to it while it's prone, essentially.
Like here.
The
Attacks
log
have disadvantage on prone targets.
Yeah, you actually, because it's a ranged attack and it's down, it would get you would have disadvantage. But if you walk right up to it and nothing personal kid him, your attacks will have advantage to hit.
Cool, so I can move 30 feet here.
Yep, you're up at
It's
point
not
blank range.
rough terrain to jump off the log.
Nope, going down is easy. Going up is hard.
Alright. I'm gonna draw. And I put both pistols in his face.
Roll with
Hat,
advantage.
bitch.
Howdy.
Partner.
Bitch. Boom.
He double credit on his advantage.
Pew, pew, pew.
Fatty bitch.
Roll your second attack. Oh my god, two natties. Holy. Roll it.
The odds, man. The odds.
What? Hey, crit again.
Beep, beep, beep.
Flagging out of his mind.
Top flag Andy.
Just one gun for each eye, and just good night, sweet prince.
Dude,
That's Shroud. I knew Shroud when I saw him.
Dude, what happens to this owlbear? You tell
I
me.
say, okay, I put them both in front of his eyes. I have a special property when gun damage hits, so it's gonna be a lengthy boy. Look at the very bottom of that; it's explosive. Everybody within a 5 feet radius of the target must make a dexterity saving throw equal to 14.
That includes you.
I know.
Okay. Okay, so Hash, first off, what's the saving throw on this?
Okay, basically if it
The
doesn't
DC.
14.
Okay. So you walk up with explosive
Oh. That's not 14.
No, that was a natural one. You walk up with explosive ammunition to point blank range when everyone's gathered around it, and you just scatter.
And he's just shouting, "I'm the hero!"
Yeah.
I'm a warrior. Okay, I need both.
So this sounds like a great distraction, you guys.
Yeah,
This
you
sounds
guys
like
are
an
doing
amazing
great.
distraction.
Keep it up. And he
Forgot we
hit
were
twice, so I need both of you to roll 2. Well, Marty did
like-
1. Collins,
Oops,
you don't have advantage on this.
Nope.
Yeah, so
I'm
turn that off and
rerolling.
re-roll it. Roll 2 dexterity saving throws. You pass the first. You passed the second. Hash, there's explosions. Roll 2 dexterity saving throws.
Normal, right?
Yes, normal.
3 nat 20s. Oh man.
Also, Collins, you got your grit back when you crit.
All right.
Yeah,
Here we
I
go.
got
True.
I
Both
did get
Brits
my
back.
grit
And
now
do you
the
get
bear, did the
you
bear
get grit
roll
for
his
killing
save?
people?
I do
you
get
said
grit
twice,
for
right?
killing.
Roll twice,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can't get more than 2, right?
Backflip! Backflip success!
Okay, here's how this is going to go down. Every single saving throw is a success, except for the one. So instead of taking 1d8 fire damage,
Oh no.
you take the 20 points of damage that first attack inflicted as just... You're way too close, right at point blank range. He's like, hey, what you doing? And it just blows up in his face.
Okay, so in my headcanon, I like to think that as soon as the explosion goes off, Hash just says, "No, I can't let anyone get hurt," and just jump on the owlbear like I'm jumping on a grenade. Like, oh,
that did that. That's the Cicero that took the damage.
That's
I am the ultimate.
Whelm just jumps on the bullet. Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Bear, come on!
You know who? So first off, the owlbear is gone, dead.
It's okay. You asked me.
It's
You asked me
obliterated.
what
That's
happened,
why I
right?
asked you what happened to him.
Okay, so when I put both up to his face,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of lined him up in the center, and like his whole fucking head is just—it's just gone.
There's no trophy. There's no trophy.
Yeah, like there's no trophy, and I'm covered in blood, and I don't even see what happened to Asuro, and I'm just spinning the guns, and like I'm like looking at the peasants, I'm like. That's another one. I'm like, look at the peasants. I just holster both guns after a little spin. I'm like, I gotta make sure to write this one down.
Another one.
Oh my gosh. The blood. That's mine.
Dude, I rolled a double natty crit into
My
another.
God.
So remember the guard,
tree.
the guard who was
Yeah.
under him,
Oh,
who had
Oh my
inspiration.
God, no.
rest in peace, my
No,
child.
he's fine. The owlbear absorbs the entirety of the blast. Chat gave him inspiration. He's completely unscathed, but he's gonna need years of therapy.
Horrified.
Okay,
Scarred for life.
it's getting late, and after that just ridiculous chain of events, I'm gonna say you've caused enough chaos that you can probably get out of this one with the treasure.
As long as I get a slab of meat off that owlbear.
Hash stays with the caravan long enough to butcher the owlbear and continue along with the ruse.
So
The re-
during this whole thing, can Darius just slip off with the caravan while everyone's worried about this owlbear business?
Oh yeah, no. You and your cart full of peasants and the treasure just ride off into the forest. So the heist is a success. After that, just ridiculousness. The three of you ditch the caravan before you get to the mind-controlling city of Nenri, and at some point later on, flash forward to the end of the movie, the Baroness and the Baron is sitting there with all of his wall scrolls and figurines of elvenness, like, wow, I can't wait for the Queen to notice me. And the Baroness rolls her eyes, rolls over in bed, looks at the nightstand right next to the window, and the goat is just sitting right there. Roll credits.
The trunk
Yeah.
There we
go.
So
And a picture of Hash.
And a picture of Hash, yes, just like a portrait that was
he's got like the Fabio hair and his shirt's ripped open.
and he's just got
Owl
huge plates of dishes and knives bouncing around his
Owl
arms.
Owlbear.
And the owlbear meat.
Yes.
Oh my god, good game, guys. That was hilarious. That was so much fun.
GG's.
Oh my
Well done,
gosh, that was a
Yeah, if
well
that
done
was
for your
awesome.
first game there. Well done indeed.
That I honestly didn't know what to expect. I really didn't, but that was like way more fun than I thought it was going to be. That was so much fun.
I freaking love D&D so much.
I am
was great.
glad.
So good.
You got into the spirit of it like right away too, which was great.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
good. You were cosplaying. You're totally in character. You even brought a voice for your character. It was great.
Well, this is a character, so this is a character I already have for when I write action stuff, Hash Brown Jackson. So I
Brilliant.
just tailored it for this, but yeah,
There you
I
go.
thought, yeah, that's a lot of fun. I mean, you guys know what you're doing, and you guys are really creative too. So you guys are awesome. This was a lot of fun.
Well, the nice thing is if you have an eye for improv and you know to just go with the flow,
Yep.
it works,
Yeah.
and you did that. I'm glad we got a little bit of combat in at the end, even though it was mostly
Yeah.
Glad we got to the heist.
It was just a helicopter. We just got the helicopter.
Well,
Never
can't
forget
Oh,
the
you know-
legend.
I don't know if you guys remember yesterday. I posted that meme. We have tactical support at home, and we didn't think it was going to be very good. But oh my god, were we wrong?
enemy AC 130 above.
Doom, 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 doom. I was fueled with a blatant disregard for all my surroundings, and I knew personally that the guns were gonna blow up, but I was like, let's keep it a surprise for everybody.
It was a surprise for everybody.
Oh my
You
god!
almost took half my health down,
I'm glad I had that dexterity.
Yeah, just the
I had to
chef.
save
He's
the
a
people.
Dex, I just rolled a 1.
Dude,
I had to save the people.
Well,
Hero of that fight.
we're gonna call it here for a night. Thank you for joining us, chat. That was a lot of fun. You made it more fun with various shenanigans, inspiration, disadvantage, treasures, so on and so forth. We will have another episode next Thursday, but thanks again to my fantastic guests, Bradley, Ninjaman, Matt, Snowhaven, and Rapture. It's been a pleasure having all of you. Have a great night, everybody.